and hip hop type of influence, man, and you hear this, man, it has a rock metal sound, but it's done in kind of a R&B type of feel. You know, that's what it feels like to me.
Are you talking about pattern?
I'm just talking about the way it sounds. I'm talking about the way it sounds vocally and the groove of it. Yeah. And the groove of it, it's still got a metal element to it, but I can hear that in a R&B type of song, like that groove. Like you take the guitar sound out of it, you take the harshness out of it. Groove. That groove sounds like an R&B groove to me.
I can get what you're saying.
I can hear that.
And the funny thing is, like, for that reason, a lot of the metal that came out around the 90s and early 2000s was really sort of shunned by a lot of old school metalheads. I think because I think that they feel that it's sort of the influence of hip hop, because there was some influence.
Yeah,
especially from hip hop to just like the new metal or whatever the case may be. I think that's why.
Hey guys,
kind of hear influences. I think that they feel that it's
watching a channel that I absolutely love. Tone it down now. Hello, Thomas.
You are, my friend.
I'm good. How about yourself?
Yeah.
Oh, a little spotty on the audio.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, kinda now.
Am I coming through all right? Yeah. Mic check. 1, 2.
Ish.
Got an S?
Hey guys. Hey Tom.
Might a bit stuttery. Do you want me to hop off and jump on again?
Yeah, probably good
Do you want me
idea.
to hop off and jump on again?
Yeah.
Yep. Maybe.
Yeah. Okay, mate.
Hey everyone. Hey Flippin. Hey everyone in the chat. How's it going?
How are you doing, NS?
Good.
Quite the show this morning.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of commenting.
It cracked me up.
Yeah. It's a fun show. I think it's cool. Bill is it feels like Bill is like letting it loose on some of these streams.
Yeah.
Actually joking around. Hey, Orange Hand, Geezer. I see Williams watches. Who else is on? Chip Gage, Junior Johnson. Thomas, obviously. Shot in the Dark.
Shot in the Dark, I think, is a new friend to the channel.
Is that any better?
No, this is
much better. Yeah.
Much better.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
So how old are you doing?
Not too bad.
Yeah.
How about yourself?
Yeah, welcome to Shot in the Dark. How are you doing, my friend? Welcome to the channel.
Geezer, would you like to join? Please do.
Yeah, anybody.
Yeah.
Hop on. Open forum.
Exactly. No rules, no nothing.
Hey,
Robert.
It was great to see you last week on the last show. I missed you at the beginning, but it was really good to see you.
Yep.
Yeah, really great.
Yeah, I gotta say, this channel, for a scrub like me who has nothing to do with anything, I really appreciate you guys who do show up and, provide the content.
For a scrub like you.
Pardon me?
For a scrub like you.
Exactly. I got lucky in a big way that,
Hey, Chip, I just want to say, Chip, hope you're safe for the tornado watch. So,
wow. Oh, yeah.
Definitely not a great time to be caught in a tornado or...
Certainly not, no. Stay safe, Chip. Yeah, hope you safe down there in Dallas.
Yeah, it's a scary situation to be in.
Yeah.
I've never been in one myself, and thank goodness I haven't.
Hop on the stream and tell us all about it if you want, Chip.
Yeah, and I know Robert. Understand what you mean. So yeah, I've been. I made a couple of offers on watches, and
really,
yeah.
interesting. Tell us about it.
Well, I don't want to say what because I don't want to jinx it. Although
yeah, sure,
they haven't been responding. So either my offers are too ridiculously low
right now.
Which is it's possible. Or I don't know. Maybe they're all hoping for a recovery and to be able to sell it. But yeah,
are they nice high-end pieces or just
no
little things to treat yourself to?
No, they're not. Nothing high end. Anything high end will be more towards the end of the year.
Yeah, saving money up.
Yeah, right now is look, if you're sitting on tons and tons and tons of disposable income, now's a great time. But there are watches that I really want that I could probably afford right now, but I should wait until the end of the year.
Yeah. Can you afford them in 3 months when things get a little sideways?
Yeah, there's that, and like is buying like a really high end piece. What happens if you lose some income or something? Is that would have covered you through to the end of the year? So
you got family, right? So
yeah, family, and I think at the end of the day, I have some watches and I'm happy with them. And
you have a hell of a collection.
Both of you guys have. Market then? Are these off the used market you're looking at, Ernest?
Yes, the couple of things that I could look at now are on the used market. It's small things, nothing fancy.
Neo sent us a link to an interesting article about the how the Swiss Watch Federation, the FHS, had just released export statistics for March 2020.
Yeah.
After a decline of 9.2% in exports in February, March has shown a decline of exports of 21.9%.
Yeah, look, I think that was to be totally expected, right?
Yeah, they say that doesn't seem bad as bad as we would have considered with the COVID-19 situation, but they say the worst is yet to come. A big drop in sales with some of the main markets and the low-end segments like the $200 to $500 range bracket fell in 55% in volumes, and the higher-end segment and the less impacted watches were priced above the $3,000 segment, falling 10% in volume. The total number of watches exported fell by 700,000 in March. Exports to the US were up though 21%, and up by 10% to China, but down by 41.3% to Hong Kong, and massively down to Europe, which has been of course impacted by the COVID-19. Italy was down by 57%, France by 48%. Germany and the UK both down by 33%, and predictions are much worse for April. It's a tense situation for the industry, of course.
Yeah, I think maybe the numbers weren't as bad in March because I'm guessing that some watchmakers were able to get some stuff out last minute. And China was reopening a little bit, right? So, but it's...
Is that right? China was opening the markets a bit more.
Yeah, a little bit.
Right.
They weren't opening a lot, but
I mean, we've got news that Watches and Wonders is going to take place online, haven't we? Starting on February the starting on April the 25th.
yeah.
30 watch brands are going to be participating in that at the beginning at noon on April the 25th Central Time. Watches and Wonders will launch a centralized hub containing web pages for each of the 30 participating brands. The opening day will have brands streaming new releases on videos that will then go up on their site, and they plan to update this site throughout the first phase, which is expected to last into early summer. And Fondation de Horologie plans to offer this as a new global ecosystem to fulfill the needs of its watch brands, and Watches and Wonders aims to become the flagship of fine watchmaking alongside several physical events, among which Watches and Wonders Geneva in April 2021 will be one.
You know, they're kind of undercutting what Basil said that they could do to sort of redeem themselves, because that was their big thing. They said, "Oh yeah, next year we'll also have an online platform, and maybe later this year." And it looks like Watches and Wonders is going to have this. They're going to have that ready this year. So.
Yeah, so I mean, Geese is saying he's looking forward to Langer's releases. I mean, they'll be there on the 25th of April. Well, starting on the 25th of April.
Did you guys get the email from Longate today?
Yeah, I did. I didn't read it.
I kind of breezed over it. But yeah, they're just going everything online.
Yeah.
Which good for them.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, so that's what Geezer's talking about. Yeah, that'll be very interesting. I'm actually surprised at how many manufacturers release stuff so far. So. Well, Lange is going to be a big one, obviously, in the high end. And I don't know if you guys caught, but the Watches TV is going to be doing some releases as well. And Moser has been doing a lot of releases, and they've actually been teasing on Instagram a new type of tourbillon and lots of stuff, and they released their black on black Vanta Black series. So lots of stuff is coming out.
Like, I think this is going to set the precedent for the future. Like, everything is just going to be online from now on, right?
Yeah, I think there's still space for like in-person stuff, right? Like maybe Watches and Wonder will survive a little bit more, a little bit longer. And, but I do think from everything that everybody seems to say, I think those smaller events seem to be very well received, like the Watch Time events, and some. I think they've had some events in Europe and that smaller Dubai event as well. So.
Yeah, they're starting to do other events globally, aren't they?
Yep. And Geezer, yes, I would agree with you.
Yeah.
It's weird because not to get too much into the virus stuff, but it seemed like everybody was going to be very respectful of what they had to do and mindful, but no, we're fully stocked on crazy as well, it seems.
Well, now's the time for guys like us to take advantage of, which is a bad thing to say, but guys like us are going to save a lot of money right now.
Yeah. And hey, Orange Hand, how's it going?
Hey, very well.
Hi,
How are
Orange
you guys?
Hand. You all right, my friend?
Yeah, doing okay. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Yeah, not so bad, thanks.
Can't complain.
Yeah, I mean, aside from the weather, it's
Yeah, you got another blast of winter there.
yeah. I woke up. It was here in the morning. It was -5 Celsius, -14 Celsius with the wind, and we had blowing snow, like full-on blowing snow at some point in the morning. So,
As we had about 6 days ago.
yeah, I'm getting ready for spring. So.
Yeah, so do you want to take a look at some watches, Zippo?
Absolutely.
I thought we'd maybe look at some blue watches today, and seeing as Giza was talking about Langer, I've put one in private chat, which was a blue dial watch, which really caught my eye.
So is this related to A. Longa and Son?
This is one of their Saxonia Thin models. I don't know. It's a 2018 release, so it's not one of their new releases.
She's like, this is such an in-depth topic, especially hearing from Bill. Holy cow. I know nothing about crossover projects and everything like that.
Yeah, so this is a 39mm 18 karat white gold. It's a copper blue dial which is made of solid silver coated in bloodstone or aventurine glass. The natural shimmers with tiny sparkling specks, which are tiny copper dioxide inclusions in the glass. It's Langer's thinnest movement, and it's a hand-wound one. It's the caliber L093.1, if that's any interest. And it's white gold hands. It's $22,000 it retails for, but it's got a lovely gold speckled luster on the dial. You can see the speckles in some of the photographs. They're really nice.
And 22,000 for a Longa, that's
A lot of money.
yeah, but that's really tempting though, isn't it? You know, you consider what you could get for 20,000 and you know 3 watches in and you could get one of these.
Have any of you guys seen an adventuring dial in person?
I'm not Giza. Sorry, Orange Hand. No, sorry.
Yeah, neither have I. I'd love to see. Like, I love the look of them in photos. I just wonder what they look like in the metal.
Yeah, they actually look. Well, it depends, right, on which one. But they do tend to look much better in person. The one that you might have the highest chance to see in person would be the Speedmaster.
Oh, okay. They made a Speedmaster with an adventuring dial.
Yeah, they made at least one. It's the isn't it one of the ceramic ones? What's it called? The blue one.
Oh, the blue side of the moon.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the blue side.
Yeah, I was thinking. I mean, I was thinking the code 1159 chronograph. I think it's the chronograph, right? Or is it a perpetual? It's a chrono.
Yeah. Oh no, so it's not the blue side of the moon. It's they had one with the adventuring dial. It's the what's it called? It's got moon in its. I'll find it. Go ahead. Sorry, I cut you off.
No, I was just saying I thought the one that I might have the best chance of seeing is the 1159 with the Aventurine dial.
Oh yeah, that one
which
too.
is the only one. It's the only one I like of that entire collection. The dial is it looks stunning in photos.
Yeah, they made it's called the it was called the Moon Phase Adventuring dial. And there's also there's a brand that makes the watches with the huge, but they're rare. The watches with the huge moon phase at the top that have an adventuring dial as well. Is that Armin Strong?
That's it there, flipping. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, I think that's that. So it's the perpetual or the annual.
Right, you can't really notice the dial that much on that one. There's so much going on, really, isn't there?
And there's also
there you can on that photo, yeah.
The one that they did really well, Adventurine, and it's not because I'm a total fanboy of the brand, I swear, but it's the Moser Moon Phase Adventurine that they came out with end of last year or this year, but they sold out like really fast.
And so Aventurine, is that the process of the
melting glass onto metal,
see.
I think, yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Okay.
So how is this made?
I think it's a process of coating either a metal dial with a type of glass. So it's melting this aventurine glass onto the dial.
Wow.
To coat it with it. I don't know whether it's melting it or whether it's taking a slice. I would imagine it's melting it. And then combining it with other powders or other metals to make a speckly effect.
Yeah, to keep it from spreading around too much, right? Yeah, this is a whole new, like the technology or artistry, whichever one it is, to do this is incredible.
Yeah, Gerard Perregaux has some too, and the other one that that you see from time to time, but I've never seen in person. Parmigiani has made quite a few, but they were very like all over the place. I think there's a Tonda like that.
It's interesting that that it tends to be moon phase watches, right? You get that starry sky effect of the Aventurine, and it complements the moon phase.
Yeah, it usually is that. It's either that or Jaeger-LeCoultre. They make those the Rendezvous watches, the women's line. The very expensive one that they call the Celestial, that has like kind of like the star map that revolves at the bottom.
Right.
They'll make the background of the star map out of Adventuring, and they'll make it in different colors, right? Because it's like a process, you can have it different colors. So they'll have red ones. I think Jacques Hedreau has some golden Adventurine, or like brownish or burgundy as well. But you're right; it's usually like either star or moon themed. Yeah. Even the brand that Bill Sanders likes, the Kristen Vanderklaw, right? They'll have Adventurine as the background for their. They have their little planetarium watch, and they'll have that as the background. It's really cool.
And it's probably pretty accurate for the star system.
So going from Adventurine and star system to a meteorite dial, which is the next one I put in the chat.
Nice. Oh yeah. Ooh. And you know they made multiple colors of that one, right? That's very.
I've never heard of this one.
Very good choice, Thomas. Very good choice.
Nice.
Yeah, so this is the Parmigiani Tonda 1950 Meteorite Blue, which is a 2016 model. It's a 39 millimeter self-winding. It's got a micro rotor with a 42-hour power reserve. The Abyss Blue dial has a thin cross section of actual meteorite, which has been treated in a series of acid baths to accentuate the textures of crystalline structure. Finally, the dial is given a galvanic service coating, resulting in a very saturated blue color. So there's another sort of dial technique going on here.
Mm-hmm. It's cool that you brought that up, Thomas. A very very good choice. You know, a lot of people like meteorite dials, but they also don't like them at the same time because they complain about readability. And Parmigiani as one that's like kind of like blackened. They have the one that you brought up, Thomas, the blue, and they also have one which is sort of painted in white, so you see all the texture of the meteorite, but it's white. Right. It might be that one that you. I don't know if it's that's that. It's that one. So if you really want a meteorite dial with the standard, like you see like the metal texture in it, but it's very white and very very readable, basically. So really really cool way of doing it. And that particular Tonda, the Tonda 950, it's the one with the platinum micro rotor. Very nice movement. Really cool watch.
This is incredible. Like, I don't know. For me, I'd rather see the meteorite dial than anything else on there. Like, the help with timekeeping. For me.
And Geezer brought up the Van Cleef planetarium.
Van Cleef planetarium.
Yeah, that's it's very nice.
What's your take on blue dials, Orange Hand? Being an orange fan yourself, are you keen on blue dials?
Yeah, absolutely. I haven't pulled the trigger on one, but they've certainly a number of them have caught my eye. We were talking on the last show about the Mont Blanc, the new chronograph mono pusher that split second that came out. And that has a beautiful blue dial with orange accents, so fitting.
Yeah, blue and orange do go together a lot, don't they?
They do.
Absolutely. Hello, Logan.
Hi, Logan.
Hope you're doing well, man.
So what else do you have, Thomas? Or do you want us to start bringing up some?
Yeah, if you want to type in IW, I'll type in the chat.
Yeah, this is another one I've never heard of.
Yeah, Van Cleef. They're a big Van Cleef and Arpels. They're a big jewelry manufacturer, but they do have some very nice watches as well, with very good third-party movement makers.
So the next one in the chat is the IWC tribute to Paul Weber. Oh, glad to see you're not feeling sick anymore, Logan. Good stuff. Yeah, so this is a 45mm manual edition of the tribute to Paul Weber 150-year anniversary. It's a 45mm 60-hour power reserve. It's £21,000. This was on release. It's a Code de Genève perlage. It's a blue dial with jump hours and minutes, small seconds. It's named after the Austrian watchmaker Joseph Paul Weber, who patented his pocket watch design in 1883 and licensed it to IWC, who produced them from 1885 until 1887, when the market seemed to have got bored of the novelty. And IWC actually produced this watch in a pocket watch format or in a gold or steel format that we see with the blue dial. And they get incrementally more expensive as they go on.
I heard someone say one time that a jump hour dial can often look like a bathroom scale.
Yeah,
and
that's
every
true.
time I look at them, I think I can't stop thinking it. So it's kind of ruined them for me.
Well, there's a watch that looks a lot more like a bathroom scale. So if you want something else ruined for you, I can. There's and it's too bad because it's a really, really cool watch. But let's talk about this one first. This is like a really, really cool watch and really cool complication. I don't want to say like it's a poor man's Zeitwerk.
EB28
or Zeitwerk, right? Kind of. But yeah, no, it's a really cool watch. It is expensive.
It's just expensive, yeah.
I just wonder like how it'll fare on the used market, right? Maybe you'll be able to get it at great prices.
What kind of movement is in it?
That would be the one of the rare times when it's an actual IWC movement. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what it's based on, but it's basically movement with jump hour and jump minute complications.
Yeah, it is an in-house caliber, this one.
It is cool. Let's see what else we got in here.
So here, I'll post something in the chat since we're on the topic of bathroom scale watches. But it has a blue accent. Thomas, I'm not straying completely from the subject, except that now we're going into the six figures watches. But I put in the private chat if you want to see it. This is Thomas. You remember the the Tim Mosso interview with Defoe.
Oh yes.
When he
yeah.
said like, which watchmakers do you like? And he said David Cando makes nice watches, right? He
Right.
called them out.
Right.
So it's these watches, but they do look a lot like a bathroom scale.
Yeah, they do indeed.
They're interesting.
Yeah, they look a lot like a bathroom scale.
Well, it kind of looks like a Moser too, right?
It looks maybe like a jaune, maybe like an FP jaune.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
So, and Geezer, you're right. We will look at that before the end of the show.
So a recent release in blue that caught my eye, and I think Thomas, you're a fan as well, is the Zenith El Primero cover girl.
Oh yes,
with
the
Revolution.
A3818.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
nice.
dynamite looking watch.
Yeah, it's got a pulsation dial and a tachymeter dial, hasn't it? With the sawtooth arrangement around the outer rim of the mini track.
Yeah, you know that watch and the regular one as well. What
the
else?
A384.
Yeah, I'll say the same thing that I told Thomas early on. That watch to me will be like a strap monster, right? Yeah, I think you'll be able to put so many custom straps on that watch, and it will always look awesome. Yeah, kind of like the what do you call them? Oh my god, I have a blank. Those you have a titanium one, Thomas.
Oh, the Panerais.
Yeah, the Panerais, right?
Yeah, they had a big culture of interchanging the straps, didn't they?
Yeah.
Much as I love this ladder bracelet, I think it's amazing. This ladder bracelet, I'm really a fan of it. 70s styling and all. I think that you're right, NS. I think that there'll be you could be able to change up the straps on this Zenith and the A384. It'll be brilliant for changing straps on.
Yeah,
really good.
I feel like any strap is going to look amazing on this watch. It's going to be amazing. Plus, it's going to be so easy because really it'll work well with without curved lugs, right? Curved spring bars. So you'll be able to put like any normal flat end strap. Yeah, it's going to be a cool watch.
Yeah, definitely.
Is this a new release?
Yeah, very recent. I think is it this year, Orange Hand?
Yeah, it was early this year. I think it was January.
It was. Yeah,
January.
the A384 was last year, and I think the A3818 was this year. Yeah, this one's this year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if they actually sold out.
It was a limited production, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Yeah, I want to say that it might have.
They may well have. Yeah, you could be right.
NS, I still haven't heard back from the chick with the beaver tail.
Yeah. Well, that's okay.
Oh.
And the next one we could look at would be the chronometer optimum with lapis lazuli dial. Seems like we always look at a jaune with like a crazy dial.
Oh, blue shirts. Oh yeah, you got him. Hi there, blue shirt. You well?
Hello, Bruce.
Hey guys, how are you? Well, you don't
Good.
want to
How
see
you doing, man?
Hey,
I'm good.
Hey, blue
I'm
shirt.
good.
Sorry, I didn't mean to leave you hanging there for too long.
No worries, man. No worries. There we go. How you guys doing?
Yeah, you well, blue shirt?
Yeah,
How
I'm
you
good.
been doing?
Not much, man. Not much. Just same as always. How about you guys?
In a holding pattern.
Yeah.
Just catching up on some blue dial watches.
Oh, cool. I'm assuming you did the CB already?
Not yet, actually.
Oh, okay. The most famous blue dial watch. Hey, Geezer, Chip, Tom Austin. Hey, everybody.
Yeah, waiting for Geezer to join before we put the CB on.
Yeah, we'll put the.
Good thinking.
Yeah, these are. Geezer suggested this one too because that's my favorite watch in the world. But yeah, the lapis lazuli one, the one you had on the page before, that has the one at the top.
That's pretty breathtaking.
Yeah, they're. I mean,
Lapis
all
lazuli,
their
wow, yeah.
all of their like stone dials are amazing. But yeah. Oof.
How ridiculously expensive is that one?
I don't know how much those go for now.
Are they still in production or are they done?
No, but my guess is those are like. I mean, Geezer might know, but they're over. They're in the six figures somewhere, for sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fantasy watches.
Yeah. I think the last one in the stone dials that I saw, the jade one, I think the person selling it kind of implied that they were probably looking for around 200K or something. So
wowzers.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like just to get your hands on the jade that size to begin with, and then to cut it, I don't imagine they're cutting it themselves. It's not an easy process.
I don't know who cut it for them. The thing is, you get more and more jade. I think it's not so hard nowadays to find jade that way, but it's just cutting it super thin. That's going to be very hard, and also finding a nice piece of jade. And look, at the end of the day, that's like a $90,000 watch to begin with, right? So even if the dial didn't add to the price, it's still a very expensive watch.
Very true.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put another one in the chat, which was the Resonance Type 1 squared blue.
That's a very cool choice. It's also a very kind of divisive watch, the Resonance.
I think it's so cool that they use ETA movements. Here's a watch that you say, oh, well, this is an ETA, 2824 or whatever it is.
It is. That's exactly what they're using. They're basing it on and that's a 2824-2 custom build.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So what's really
I didn't see you were on there. So how you doing?
Yeah, hey there, blue shirt. Good to see you.
Thanks.
So
I'm not a huge fan of this watch, but I know Tim Massa's constantly pumping it.
I love it. I think it's great. Yeah, I think it's great. I'm really coming around to it. It's a 41mm dial. It's a 36-hour power reserve. It's a cushion case, night blue dial, regulator style mechanism, and the lever on the back to wind it. And
it's funky, all right.
It's really great. It's the way the whole dial moves around when it goes to follow the mini hand.
Yeah, the whole thing rotates. It's cool that way.
Yeah, and it's what's really, really cool is that you have the ETA base movement on the bottom, and then what you see as the dial is almost a completely separate movement, right? It's a module, obviously, but it's almost a completely separate module, and they're completely separated, and they're coupled with a magnetic coupling, which means that that's how they can have the version that's an oil-filled module as well.
Right.
So it's really, really cool the way they did it, the way you wind it and set it from the back. It's very much like the way you set it and wind it is very much like the original Ulysse Nardin Freak, except that you have sort of like that that little.
It's like a ring that pops
yeah,
out of the
that
back.
pops up. Yeah, it's really cool.
It's
like
different.
for me as a rookie, I like ETA movements. It's I don't know, you can get them worked on, and maybe not this, but
there's nothing wrong with ETA movements.
No.
They're fine, tough, reliable movements.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And like eventually I'll get into the in-house and all that, but yeah, I'd be afraid of the money it costs to send an in-house movement to Switzerland to get it worked on.
Well, yeah. I mean, you're not really gonna send. I mean, unless you're getting one of those really high-end boutique brand watches.
Yeah, I mean,
anything will be able to service either in Canada or in the United States. Like when I sent my JLC to get serviced, it didn't go back to Switzerland. It went. They have a service center in Texas that got sent to.
Yeah.
I mean, this goes for 17,000. I mean, I think it retailed for £17,000 new.
Wow.
I mean,
17,000 pounds. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, 17,000 euros.
17,000 euros. Okay, still.
Yeah, and they don't. They're not a watch brand that like loses 3/4 of its value in the first year. They lose some value, but they retain a lot. So they're not cheap for sure.
Well, like I think you were saying, NS, it's a Marmite kind of watch. You either really love it or you really don't like it.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So the people that really like it, are going to be willing to pay the money for it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's cool.
It is.
And I like the blue. That I do like.
Yeah,
like
the night blue.
Color blue.
Lovely. Yeah, the next one I put in the chat was a bit of an oddball, but it just had a nice wavy dial pattern. I really like the pattern on the dial. I'm going to attempt to pronounce the brand. It's the Quovo y Soprinos Estado Flamante Blue.
Ooh, good job, Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
This is a Cuban brand from Havana that started in 1892, meaning Quovo on nephews. It's a 40mm, 42-hour power reserve. It's an indigo blue flame guilloche known as Flamante, commemorating the brand's 10th anniversary in the USA, engraved in the case ring.
Again, I like the blue, the shade of blue.
Yeah, that is a beautiful dial.
Fed seems to have a lot of these. At
Really?
any point on his site, he usually has at least 2 or 3 of these.
Yeah, he must have some sort of deal with an AD, right, that sells those.
Yeah.
Well,
Whatever
it's a Cuban
what
brand.
he put out yesterday was very clearly an ad that he did not.
Yeah. Although they're not Cuban at all anymore, right? It's
yeah, sure.
It's a Swiss brand, and they just whoever owns it just took the name. And originally, if I remember correctly, originally they were sort of like a lot of kind of Swiss brands, right? When they first started, it was basically like a guy importing Swiss movements, or maybe watches completely made in Switzerland and just selling them in Cuba.
Yep.
Yep.
Very cool. Good call, Thomas. That's
Yeah, that dial is.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, but I quite like the pattern on the dial.
Yeah, the pattern on the dial is very reminiscent of like you know, like a Carry Voutilainen or something like that, right? With the very, very stylized guilloche or whatever, engine turning, whatever it is. Very nice.
Yeah, the next one's I know you're chronograph fans, of course, and this one's a favourite of mine.
In honor of Blue Watch Night tonight, I'm wearing my my blue Seiko King Turtle.
Oh, nice, the King Turtle.
That's a nice choice, Thomas. Although Omega has tons of nice blue watches, I have to say.
I have to say, my blue Omega is very nice. Not to brag, but
No, it definitely is. But you know what? Omega does blue very well.
They do.
Yeah.
Right? Seamasters, they do the Seamasters, Speedmasters, they do the Aquaterra well, right?
The blue side of the moon.
Yeah, so this is $6,950 limited to 2,998 pieces for the CK2998 model number. 39.7 millimeters. Sorry, Chand?
No, I was just gonna say I love the lollipop chronograph hand.
Yeah, I do.
It's amazing.
And those Dauphine hands from the first Omega in space.
Yeah.
And also the dial's reminiscent. I don't know. It reminds me of a Paul Newman Daytona dial with the dark minute track around it, and all of that white space.
Yeah,
and they did the bezel well too.
Yes. Yeah, the bezel's really sharp and it stands out. It really pops.
One thing that I like, when I first got into watches, looking into these ones, I did not, and I still don't like the seconds hand covering the Omega logo.
Oh, the chronograph when it's at the 12?
Yeah.
Well, with the chronograph, I mean, there's no reason. I mean, you could move it off it and put it anywhere if you want.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's one of the downfalls of a chronograph.
Yeah, I don't think the lollipop obscures the logo though. Like in this picture, you can see it; it's right above it.
True.
But yeah, you're gonna get that with every chrono, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And on certain watches, I like the pump style pushers, and on this watch, I like it. I don't like them on every watch that has them, but on this watch, they look good.
What do you think of screw down pushers on a chronograph, like a la the Daytona or the Tudor chronos?
I mean, are you really going to use it underwater? Are you going to even take a chronograph in the water at all?
And you know what really gets me is, when, like, let's say you want to time something, you have to sit there and unscrew the chronograph pusher to even begin. So, like, how useful is it if they're screwed down?
It's redundant and it's ridiculous. I mean, I guess it's another, way of a brand, taking things to another level of protection. But I mean, if you want to time something and you're in the water, wear a dive watch and use the bezel as a timer.
Well, I mean, technically, you can't even use those pushers underwater anyway, right? They have to be locked. So,
correct.
I think I like the idea of the master compressor ones from JLC, so that you can easily unscrew them. Right? It's just like you flip them.
It's like a half turn, and it shows red when it's open, and it's solid when it's locked down.
Really?
Yeah, that's a good point.
I like those, or even a step further, right? The Moser, the Streamliner, where you can even use the pushers underwater. That's
correct.
Probably even better. But I kind of think that a lot of the pushers that are screw down, and there are tons of brands that have screw down pushers, right? I think that's more because they don't want people to damage the watch. they kind of know that most people are never going to use the chronograph anyway.
Yeah.
So, how many people who buy Daytonas actually use the chronograph?
Right. Right.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, I've
Yeah,
never used mine.
Mhm.
It was definitely a deal breaker for me. I took a look at the Tudor steel and gold chrono, which is a Black Bay chrono, which is lovely. But I started handling it, and I wound it up, and then I went to use the chronograph, and I went, this is just, I'll never use it because it's screwed
Really?
down.
Right.
So and I like to play with the chronograph. I have a couple of chronographs, and I love just watching the chronograph hand tick away.
Mhm.
Sweep away.
I guess if you actually use your chronograph, you might want to just keep them unscrewed, right? It's not like those watches look awful when they're unscrewed. So,
Right. Sometimes you can even barely notice it.
yeah.
But I don't know. Again, at least for me, I wouldn't take a chronograph anywhere near the water.
Yeah, so this next one, I know we've got Tom Austin in the audience, and couldn't do one without Grand Seiko for him. So this one's a Grand Seiko SBGK 005. This is a favorite of mine. It's a 39mm hand wound one. It's retailed for $7,400 in 2019. It's limited edition of 1,500 pieces. It's got a blue Mount Iwate pattern on it, snowflake pattern on the dial. It's a caliber 9S63 GS caliber. So it's a hand wound. It's got the power reserve, as you can see, at 3 o'clock. I just love this dial on this watch.
Mm-hmm. The dial is nice.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Well, I assume the case is also very nice, and
yeah, it'll be as the Ratsu polished case, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what that dial has that a lot of Grand Seikos don't, even the Snowflake? The power reserve indicator is just very subtle on top of the dial. It doesn't have, a lot of them have that like little window.
Yeah.
That breaks the dial.
Yeah, this is nice with the small seconds that balances off that power reserve.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's one of the rare Grand Seiko dials that is very balanced, and that the dial is not completely broken up.
Right. Exactly.
And it's too bad. Yeah.
It's a nice size at 39mm. Sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say it's too bad that a lot of the Grand Seiko dials are broken up by something because they're so beautiful. Cool.
Yeah, they did come out, I think, last year with an ice blue snowflake.
They did.
It was it's like it was almost like a powder blue. It was
very
very subtle.
Blue. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
They're nice. They're finished nice. They're solid watches. I can't. I can't argue with anybody that falls in love with them. They're a great watch. Again, they don't sing to me personally, but
I'm just a fan of the dials, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just a sucker for the dials.
Oh, and Chip Cage says that he just tried one on that Skyflake version.
No kidding.
Really?
Did you like it, Chip? Is there a Grand Seiko boutique in Montreal, NS?
I researched it once. I've never been. There's at least one in Montreal, and there's one just north of the city, in the suburb that's like 5 minutes away from here. So there's at least two, but I've never. I like Grand Seiko. I've seen some, but I've never liked them enough to seek them out. Really.
Gotcha.
Bill Sanders earlier was talking. I think it was today. I might have caught a replay. His explanation of why he doesn't collect them. He likes the traditional movements and all that.
Yeah, so Bill Sanders doesn't like the spring drive,
Right.
and he also doesn't like high beat movements.
Right.
So
the slower the better for Bill.
Yeah, so that basically
eliminates Grand Seiko 100%.
2.5 or 3 hertz movements, and that's it.
Which is basically just a. I mean, what about the automatic? Is the automatic even 3 hertz? The non-high beat ones, or are they 4 hertz? Or
I think they're 4 hertz.
Yeah, they're 4.
Yeah.
So yeah, Grand Seiko doesn't do a lot for Bill.
No,
not at all.
I mean, Bill is a dress watch guy. Is a traditional dress watch movement guy. That's his thing.
Yeah, so the next one, I'm sure NS will be able to tell us a lot more about than I can. It's the Devatoon kind of blue.
Yeah, that's
the DB28 BRUS.
Yeah.
How about this little cheap one here?
Is that yours, Zippo?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Oh, actually, no, not this one. Sorry. Hang on.
Hey, Founder Timeless Capital. How's it going, man? Thanks for dropping in.
I found a Timeless Capital. How you doing, friend?
Hey, cool to see you here.
Yeah. Cheers, man. Shoot, I don't know where it is now. I lost it. Well, it's very similar to this. It's just a little Speedmaster automatic with a very nice blue.
Cool.
Yeah, the Speedmaster automatics are very underrated. Fine, they're very cool.
It's a starter watch, but it's a good starter watch.
I mean, it's they have good movements. They're very practical, right? It's automatic. You don't have to wind it.
It's a good case size too at 39.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people like the Moonwatch. It's just a little too big.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I kind of hate about the Moonwalk watch is the white hands on it.
Really?
Yeah,
You know, that's one of the things that a lot of people like because it makes it very readable.
Yeah.
Very legible, yeah.
Yeah.
Next to my Polar Explorer, it's the most legible watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I can appreciate, but at the same time, I don't care too much about what time it is. If I really need to know, I'll figure it out on my own. So,
well, then you should check out a Speedmaster. Why am I drawing the blank? The one with the arrow hands.
Oh, the broad arrow.
Oh,
the broad arrow, right?
The 57
the 57, right?
Yeah, or the broad arrow in general.
Yeah, the 57 is really cool.
It is.
Yeah,
it is.
That's a
before I got my Man on the Moon, I was seriously toying with the idea of getting that just because it's really cool looking.
Yeah, it's classic design.
There's the budget option to that 57 is in the 90s. Omega released a I think they called it the Broad Arrow Replica. Like if you look it up, like Omega, Broad Arrow Replica Speedmaster Professional, and it's got the regular Moonwatch case with with the crown guards. And so it's a modern case, but it has the broad arrow dial, and you can get them on Chrono 24 for I found them as cheap as as 3,000 Canadian.
Wow.
Jeez.
Yeah, so they have the exact look as the 57. You're just getting a modern Moonwatch case with the Lear lugs and the crown guards.
It must be hard to search for that today, though, because you're probably all getting replica watches as results, right?
Well, no, there's a reference number. You'll I think that's it there. There's the reference number 359450.00.
You know, when you're looking for the reference number, Omega has this amazing thing on their website. I don't know if you've ever looked at it for the Speedmaster, where they have like a sort of a timeline, and they have every single reference of the Speedmaster ever, all on this timeline
on their website.
Yeah. You know what? I'll try to find it while we're on this, and
yeah, sure.
If I find it, I'll send the email.
That's a good looking watch, Orange Hand. Good looking watch.
Yeah, I think it's a really cool watch. The guys from Fratello watches, they I can't remember his name, Robert Yan, sort of the Ben Clymer of Fratello. Guys. Yeah, he's got one of these, and he talks it up quite a bit.
One of the things with the Professional is the black bezel. I kind of like steel.
Yeah, I like the steel bezel a lot more.
Yeah, like this one's, it's toast. You can't read it. Plus, it's small, but who cares?
Yeah, Robert Badilla's right. The broad hour hands really make that watch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a quirky watch because it's kind of like an imperfect attempt at a reissue, and it's before sort of the reissues became a thing, right? I mean, this is one of the first actual vintage reissues, which is neat. It's one of the first. I think it's this and maybe the Hoyer Carrera reissue in the mid '90s.
Mm-hmm.
When did this one get reissued?
I think it was 90 early 90s, 92, 93, something like that.
So it's like a vintage reissue at this point.
It's a vintage reissue. They called it a replica because there was no such thing as people just didn't reissue. The brands weren't into that. It was kind of preceded the craze. So they called it a replica, which is not a great term, and given that, what NS was saying. Well, but
back then replica meant something, right? It's just today people that make fakes sort of co-opted the term, right? That's the fancy replica is now the fancy term for fakes.
Indeed.
It's really cool. It's weird to see like the broad arrow that looks a lot like a 57 with that bracelet on. It's actually very weird.
Yeah, I would probably get a different bracelet for it, and or maybe just get a leather strap. I think they look really smart on a leather strap.
Yeah, it's a cool watch.
Yeah, one thing about mine, I love the bracelet on this one. It's a bit of a hair puller sometimes, but it feels great.
Sorry about that, guys.
No worries, man.
Yeah, so the next blue one I put in the chat for you, Zippo, was the Debatoon kind of blue.
I actually tried this watch on at watch time.
Really?
I did.
Like NS something was saying last week, this is all heat treated, blue, isn't it?
Yeah, it's titanium. It's heated up until it's this shade of blue.
I think, do they have to heat it to something ridiculous, like 3,000 degrees or something?
Like that.
Yeah.
and the lugs articulate, so it'll fit, a lot of different size wrists. It's very cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's 42.6 millimeter manual wind titanium case, like you say. It's $125,000 retail. This was 18 karat gold bezel, blue skeletonized dial with alligator strap, and says it's
Featherlight.
limited edition to 10 pieces.
Oh,
Yeah, the Bitsun does tons of nice blue stuff. They have one that looks more traditional, also that with a blue dial. Forget the reference, maybe it's DB23 or no DB25 maybe. But yeah, they do tons of blue stuff. And what you have to understand is that they do other colors too. And each of the colors that they do, it's not easy, right? It'll stay this color for a very short amount of time at a very specific temperature,
Right.
or else you sort of ruin it. So
Exactly.
they've sort of become like very, very well known for their heat treatment of titanium.
yeah. Any idea what the temperature to turn titanium blue is?
I don't know,
No.
really.
It's hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's hot.
I read somewhere it was about 3,000 degrees or something.
Yeah.
Something ridiculous.
And the bigger the part, the harder it is. So hands and screws are very easy to do.
Mm-hmm.
But doing whole cases like that, or pieces of cases, is very hard. And Blue Shirt was talking about the floating lugs, right? The floating lug system. What's cool is that they have, I think, at least 3 sizes of floating lugs. So even though it will make it fit extremely well on your wrist, you can still get them a little bit longer, a little bit shorter.
You're right.
So that it'll fit like really, really perfectly.
Correct. You're right. You're right.
Found the Timeless Capital is actually saying he's got one of the DB28s. Lucky thing.
Very nice. Congratulations.
Very nice. Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, I was impressed with this. Yeah, it was the DB28 that I tried on. Very very funky.
Yeah.
And that bridge that they have there, it looks like the Star Trek Next Generation emblem. That always reminds me of that.
Yeah. Yeah, but a lot of people always say the Star Trek watches, don't they?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the thing was Featherlight, this watch.
Is this a moon phase one?
Yeah, that's and what's really cool about the moon phase is that it's a small sphere. It's actually 2 halves of a sphere that they put together in a completely seamless way. But by making it 2 halves that they put together, they'll be able to have like 2 finishes. So one side is blue, one side is black polished, or sometimes just polished. Yeah. And I think you can search if you want to see another blue one. I think it's a DB25.
Yeah, found a Timeless Capital saying they don't hold a value for resale. He got his second hand pre-owned for a third of retail.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But you do have to understand that a third of retail for the Bitsun is still a lot of money. But yeah, they do go down quite a bit.
Is this in your opinion, NS? Are they a brand that can weather the storm well?
Yeah, we talked about that, right? I'm pulling for them. That's all I'll say. But I don't know. It's
because they're a niche market watch for sure.
It's niche market. It's also that they've had problems in the past. To me, when we were talking about this with Geezer, they're not necessarily a brand that's made it,
Mm-hmm.
right? They're very popular right now. They're being pushed by different places, but can they survive if this lasts a long, long time? I don't know, but I certainly hope they do. If there's one brand out there that would deserve it. it's definitely them.
When it comes to small companies like this, if they, banked money, then they might be okay.
Yeah,
Like, I don't know how many employees they have, how much money they have in the bank, but
yeah. The problem with Debitun is that, and they've been criticized a lot about it, is that they have tons of movements that they make. Right, it's all in house, and they've slowed down a little bit, but they used to, like, every time they had a slightly different model, it would be like a totally different movement. So they're trying to spend their money, I think, in a more responsible way and more sustainable way. So that might help. But yeah, it's because you in a company like that, you have the guys that started that are huge creative forces, and they just want to keep making new stuff and pushing the envelope, and that ends up costing a lot of your money. So.
Sure. I was just going to ask the question, and found Founder Times Capital, James answered it already. They make about 3,500 watches a year.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
it's not an insignificant number. I mean, that's what double Moser.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Still quite a few watches.
Yeah, it's pretty much what Parmigiani makes, and Parmigiani has to send everything to discount outlets. So
it's a shame, but obviously this is a company that is in the crosshairs.
Yeah, it's
right.
Yeah,
and because nobody's safe right now. It's
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, look, it's not just companies that are not necessarily safe. I think they're in an industry that's not safe right now.
Yeah.
So that certainly doesn't help, right?
Yeah.
Very,
the next
very,
one I
very
put,
interesting watches. Sorry,
the
Thomas,
next one I put in the chat. Sorry, Blue Chat.
It's okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say the next one I put in the chat was the Laurent Ferrier Gallet Square Blue, Ice Blue.
Nice. And this is another brand we were talking about the other week that's on shaky ground.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Well, I don't think they produce a lot of watches,
right.
And I think there are serious questions as to what happens when Laurent Ferrier is not alive anymore.
Right, sure.
Yeah, and I find that for the clout or the following that Laurent Ferrier has as a watchmaker, I find that they haven't really been able to attract a lot of attention, a lot of buzz. Maybe that's by design, but I kind of doubt it. And they've made some weird decisions, right? Like they came out with like a sport type of watch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's one of those brands that's made really cool stuff, but it's pretty costly. They kind of remind me a lot of Moritz Grossman in a way, right? Very cool stuff, very nice movements, but very expensive.
Yeah, so the Gallet in French translates to pebble, and this is the Gallet Square, so this is a square pebble. 41 by 41 millimeter cushion case. It's steel. It's $38,000 in 2015. This retailed for.
Nice.
Same movement found in the Gallets as in the normal Gallets. It's the micro rotor, features a silicon escapement with double direct impulse on the balance.
Nice.
This features 2 escapement wheels and enables the balance to be impelled twice per oscillation. This innovation was developed by Laurent Ferrier to maximize energy efficiency, guaranteeing a high amplitude of the balance. So it's a very competent movement.
Gotta love a micro rotor.
Yeah. No, they're serious watches. They're definitely nice. The rectangular watch that they came out with is really cool as well. But it's one of those where you get to a certain price range and you start thinking, what else could I buy?
Yeah, I just popped on Cellini, and the regular Gele micro rotor is the retail price is 40 grand, but they say contact for purchase, meaning that you can haggle with them a little bit, but they're not cheap.
No, definitely
Hey guys,
not.
I'm gonna have to drop off. Have a great evening.
Yeah, you too, Orange Hand.
Oh,
Good to
great
talk
to
to you.
speak to you, Orange Hand. Take care, my friend.
Take care, man.
Okay, take care.
Yeah, see you next time.
Geezer, are you going to show up?
So we should look at the. Why don't we look at the Chronomètre Bleu?
The iconic blue watch of the
Yeah,
moment.
put that in the chat. The Jaune Chronomètre Bleu. Seeing as we've got Geezer in the chat.
Yeah, Geezer, try and come on and show us
Come
the
on,
watch.
come on, Geezer. Tell us about this watch you've got.
The Chronomètre Bleu is so weird because it gets such weird criticism sometimes. I feel like
Really?
I feel like it's the watch that really ruffles the feathers of some of like Patek fanboys
because it's so loved.
Yeah,
It's
because
so good.
Because it's so loved, it's so cool, it's so beautiful. So
it's stunning. It's the entry level watch for the brand, and it's virtually, unobtainable.
And it's beautiful. 39 millimeters, tantalum case, chrome blue dial, Jaune caliber 1304, 56-hour power reserve, 18 karat gold movement, manually wound 38 hour. That's with 38 turns maximum, and retailed for 23,000 euros retail.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
The hands are nice.
Stunning.
Yeah.
Just stunning.
Is that not a bargain for what you get?
Absolutely.
Well, it is, except that I don't, I think most people don't pay that money.
Right.
Yeah.
They pay a lot more. But yeah, look, if you can get that at the retail price,
then you're that's win-win. That's like getting a Panda Daytona for 17 grand. It's just it's not going to happen. But it's stunning. That is the one word for this watch, is stunning. Simple but stunning.
Yeah.
We peer pressured Geezer.
Yeah, come on, Geezer, you got to get on. Show us that watch.
Hello, Geezer.
How are you?
Hey, Geezer.
Hi, Geezer. Tell us
Happy
about
birthday,
the watch
man.
of yours.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Happy birthday for the other day, my friend.
I was watching the stream in bed, and
This is your baby, man.
Yeah, tell us all about it. What's it like to own one of these?
It's an excellent watch. Listen, I mean, I've had it for over 4 years now, and I'm still on the honeymoon with this watch. It's just one of those watches that you just can never, you don't get bored over. Like you can wear it with anything, anytime. Yeah, I absolutely love the watch.
That's something to be said for that. When you do you dress yourself around the watch?
No, that's the thing. You can just wear this with anything, so you don't really have to think about matching the watch with particular clothing or anything. I mean, during normal times, Monday to Friday, I wear suits. And obviously, this being a relatively thin dress watch, it goes really well with. And I usually wear. I wear both sort of light and dark suits, and it goes well with all of them, and
slips right under the cuff.
Exactly, yeah, and I wear this casually as well. During the weekends, and with jeans and t-shirt, no problems.
Is it still on the factory strap?
No, I've actually got it on the gray factory strap. So factory, as in the OEM, a jaune strap. I've got it on like a gray one, and the gray strap has gained like a really nice patina over the years through wear. So initially it was just like a very plain matte kind of dark, sort of relatively light gray sort of strap, but it's kind of darkened a bit with bits of sort of areas of sort of the color kind of sort of washing off. Yeah, so it looks fantastic, and the gray strap goes fantastically well with the watch, because obviously the case, the tantalum has like a sort of dark gray kind of tone to it. So yeah, it's a great watch.
It is
awesome.
Is it worth whatever it is that is going for in the secondary market these days? I mean, of course, it's hard to say, because obviously if you like the watch and if you must have it, then you pay the price and get it. It is a fantastic watch, but for me, no watch is worth over the retail price.
Right.
Same goes for any of these hot models. I personally will never pay over retail for any of the watches. But yeah.
MSRP is double price of what you're ultimately going to pay. You got lots of room to negotiate.
Yeah, it's funny. When I got this 4 years ago, I paid under retail.
Nice.
Yeah, and a few people were calling me crazy for even buying this watch. As NS was saying, there's just like a weird thing between amongst the sort of, especially the Patek owners. Because I have a couple of friends who are massively into Pateks, and they were like, "Oh yeah, why are you getting a Jean? Just get another Patek, with our money and all that." They seem to really bash Jean for some reason. Those like guys who are really into Pateks. It seems to be like a very sort of common theme. I don't know.
Yeah, and it's weird because if you're going to buy the Chronomètre Bleu at retail, right? Yeah. It's like cheap Calatrava territory.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And if you're going to compare the two, look, maybe it's because I love Jean, but to me they're almost like they're in different leagues, right? Yeah. I'm not saying that Jean in general is better than any Patek, right? Patek has amazing watches too.
Yeah.
But if you compare like the Chronomètre Bleu or Chronomètre Souverain to like whatever entry level Calatrava, I think these are on a much higher level than the Calatrava.
Apples and oranges, just the engineering of it.
Exactly. I mean, not just in terms of the actual sort of craftsmanship and all that, but in terms of just the style of the watches. I mean, if you in my opinion, because I've owned a couple of Calatravas as well previously, and they're very, very different watches. Yes, they all sort of belong in this sort of big category of sort of dress watches, but they're very, very different. You can't really compare Chronomètre Bleu or even Chronomètre Souverain with like a Calatrava. They're very different, right? Because CS, yes, they're a bit more classic compared to the CBs. They're still very sort of, yes, they're classic, but they're very contemporary at the same time.
Right.
If you look at references from Patek, like 51, 96, or those like very classic dress watches. They're very different. They feel very different. They wear very different. And yeah, and of course, in terms of the mechanics behind those watches, they're built very differently. The movements that you get on those like sort of standard Calatravas, they're very different to the ones that you find in Chronomet Blues and Chronomet Souverains, right? So very different ideas of watchmaking, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say, as you said, NS, very rightly, I wouldn't say one's necessarily better than the other. They're just very different. That's all I can say, really. When I had my Calatravas, I absolutely loved the 5127G. It was a fantastic watch. And, the Pateks have their own sort of niche, if you will, in the market. Jean is like a very, again, their own like little thing. So I don't think it's really fair to say one's necessarily better than the others. But I don't know why there's like this kind of theme in the community where people say, especially those Patek owners, Patek fanboys, like sort of bashing, all of these like independents. It's strange.
I think you said it good, and I think, or you said it well, and I agree with you. Both the CB and the CS, at least to me, are a lot more versatile than a lot of the Calatravas are.
Yeah,
Calatrava is really just a dress watch.
Yeah.
I mean, you could wear it with a pair of jeans, or wear it like how Archie wears it with his shorts and his sandals on.
Yeah.
But, the Journe is a lot more versatile.
Yeah, I think to me, I know it's going to sound weird. I know there's a lot of things that differentiate them, right? The dials are very different, but I find that to me the Journe have like their own identity, right? The hands, the dials, even the ones that have like the sub-dial layouts, they keep the same types of numerals. Whereas you have some Pateks that are, I don't want to say they're bland, because a lot of them are very beautiful watches.
Have they been the same design for the last 70 years?
Well, there's that, but also that they don't necessarily have like their own hands, their own numerals, right? They're very classic, and I don't want to say bland, but very traditional.
Yeah.
Not like, let's say, a Breguet that is also very traditional, but you look at a Breguet and right away, okay, yeah, I see that's a Breguet, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
But you look up dress watch in a dictionary, and you're going to see a picture of a Calatrava.
Yep.
It's the central dress watch.
But yeah, a blue shirt. With my 5127, I couldn't wear it with anything else apart from my sort of Monday to Friday suits. Just looked out of place if I.
Oh,
he's back.
You're back, Geezer?
Are you there, Geezer?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Now we can. You dropped out there for a second.
All right. So, where was I? No, I was just saying, with the Calatravas I had, you're absolutely right, blue shirt. That I it is just, those were just dress watches, like pure and simple, right? I couldn't really wear the Calatravas with anything else apart from very classic sort of attires like suits or black tie, something like that.
Chip Gage is asking, but perhaps a Calatrava pairs better with an ice cream spoon.
The Calatravas are beautiful. I mean, I would love to have like another classic sort of Patek at some point. But yeah.
Yeah, I like the new one with the weekly calendar.
Yes.
Find that one.
Yeah.
Very
That's
nice.
a nice one.
212. Yeah, that's a beautiful watch.
Yep.
Very, very quirky, and I think Patek did everything right with that watch. And they really understood, where the market was sort of going. They obviously tried to appeal to the younger audience, with that useful complication, right?
For sure, and for them, they stepped way out of the box.
Yes, yeah, yeah. Kudos to them, for doing, absolutely.
But man, congratulations, Giza. This is a beautiful,
absolutely
watch,
stunning watch,
absolutely
Giza.
stunning.
Yeah.
It really is.
The next suggestion I put in for you, Zippo, was something that you could get for the same price second hand as the Jean Chronometre Bleu. Wouldn't appeal to all of us.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, you're taking a left turn there.
Yeah, and I'm taking us on a bit of a slant off.
No worries, Thomas. No worries.
We saw the red version the other day, and this is the Big Bang Unico Blue Sapphire 45mm blue sapphire crystal case surrounding a skeletonized dial on a blue transparent rubber strap with a flyback chronograph. 250 pieces of this one. Not for everyone.
Yeah.
With my rebellious nature, you guys are going to talk me into a Hublot.
That's cool, man. That's cool.
I mean, they get a bad rap, but they're they're nice watches. I'm sure.
I could hear hesitation in your voice there, dude.
Yeah, look, I'm.
They're not. They don't all look like this. There are some very tame ones, and
as far as the far out watch goes, this might be what you want to go for, right? Like not your first or second watch, but the fourth or fifth.
But I have to assume that the person who buys that watch wears that watch as their first main watch, right? Or else, what's the point?
Right.
$49,000.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money.
Or you could opt for a slightly cheaper budget. You could opt for the next one I put in the chat, Zippo, which is the Omega Real Master Blue Jeans, which has a bit of a Hublot styling about it. Hublot brought out a Big Bang Jeans ceramic, which was
come on, Tom.
30,000.
Don't insult.
You could go for this one.
Yeah, don't insult that Omega that much.
which has a denim NATO strap.
Yeah,
I got to see what user has to say about this.
I like this one. It's got a nice blue dial.
Yeah.
But the denim NATO strap takes it a bit far.
Yeah, I tried this one on at an Omega dealer at Torno. It's a nice watch.
Did you try it on bracelet?
No, it was on the blue strap.
Didn't Hublot also do like a watch with like denim strap and denim dial and stuff? I think they did.
Yeah, they did. Then they also did a leather one, and I think denim.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it was their more standard model, wasn't it?
Yeah, just in like a steel case, not in like a sapphire or anything. But I don't mind this Real Masters.
Yeah, no, it's a very, very
No,
nice.
that is. Yeah.
Next time you're in an Omega boutique,
I
check it out. It's nice.
Any day.
Yeah. And I mean, look, say what you will about the denim dial, the Rail Master, but for
it's a
the
nice
type,
dial.
Yeah, but for the type of watch you're getting with the discount, these watches are really not that expensive, relatively to other expensive watches.
Yeah, they're
right?
$4,500, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, that's all right. Yeah.
Mhm.
Anybody know what size these are?
I believe they're
40 mil.
39, but I could be wrong. But
Yeah, it's 39
Yeah,
or
it's a
40.
40 millimeter watch
Is it
with
40?
a 150 meter water resistant
Okay.
and the 15,000 Gauss anti-magnetic resistant, CLCS certified. So
Yeah.
15,000 Gauss knocks the Milgauss into the park. I mean, all these new Omega movements are 15,000 Gauss now
Right.
with the silicon hairsprings, aren't they?
Yeah, you get like the latest and greatest, or at least the not the latest, but the last model of the coaxials. You get a really cool movement.
You do.
It's a great watch for the price.
Yeah.
It's a very good everyday watch. Good size.
Yes.
Very practical.
Indeed.
Does anybody else hate NATO straps?
I'm not a huge NATO guy.
I like
them.
certain watches, but generally, yeah, I'm not gonna. I think there was this guy. I can't remember his name, but he's one of these European guys. He's got like a mega collection. And I remember him like putting like NATOs on like Patek 5170 and like Langes and stuff. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, you know that dealer on Facebook, the guy that he knows Federico Matthew McCabe.
Yeah.
He also puts NATOs on his like he has that. I forget the reference, but you know that that 2-register Patek chrono.
Yeah, like 5070 or 5170.
Yeah, he puts that one on a NATO and.
Yeah, I mean, I get it on like sort of more tooly watches, like Submariners and you know things like that. I can kind of understand, but yeah, on like those like dressy Pateks and stuff, yeah, just yeah, it's not for me.
Yeah, and you can't see the movement anymore.
No, exactly. Yeah, it's silly.
Yeah. Shaitan saying he doesn't like NATOs. They dig into the back of the watch and they make the back of the watch dig into the back of your wrist and are unbalanced.
Sticks out an extra.
Yeah, especially with a watch that's maybe a little on the chunkier side, it's going to be up off your wrist even more, depending on the thickness
make it even
of the NATO.
thicker.
Yep.
Yeah, when I first got into watches, I thought, oh yeah, a leather NATO, coolest thing ever. No.
The other thing too is if you have it too tight on the NATO, it will contribute to the spring bars popping.
Yeah.
You're getting a bit
like the ones
sidetracked.
that I have, like the leather. The leather is super comfortable. It's like
very nice, Hippo. Very nice.
Yeah, I don't know what we're looking at anymore.
We're looking at what we're looking at.
This Crappy's channel now.
What's the wrong channel? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the ones that I made, the leather is super soft, very comfortable, but it's still a leather NATO. And
if we start talking about conspiracy theories,
you're out.
Yeah. So the next watch I put in the chat was the Blancpain bathyscaphe.
Very nice. I also tried this on at watch time the last 2 years.
Yeah, it's
love this
blue.
Yeah,
blue watch.
That's stunning.
I do like NATOs on Blancpains though.
Oh really?
This gaps, yeah. Their own OEM NATOs are super nice. Very. The keepers are very well finished. So yeah, I mean, obviously, and also this being like a diver's watch, you know, it kind of makes sense.
Right.
Yeah, these are like the seatbelt style nylon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, sailcloth.
Yeah.
The regular straps that they have are sailcloth.
It makes sense even more on the regular, the normal 50 fathoms, right? With the screwed lugs.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a 43.6 millimeter. You can also get a 38 millimeter version of this, though. It's 128 hours power reserve. It's got the caliber 1315. It's brushed ceramic bezel and satin brushed ceramic case.
Yeah, same movement as the regular 50 fathoms.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a 2016 model and retailed for 11,000 euros. This one.
Funny
Okay.
story. There's one thing that happened to me twice while trying to buy a watch, and once was a bathyscaphe. I almost bought it. I had the money ready. I was going to do the transfer, but this happened to me twice. Once with this watch, and once with a Gérard Lecoultre, a master calendar, like a triple calendar. At the very, very last minute, the seller got like maybe like a bit of
cold feet.
No, like a sudden attack of honesty.
Oh.
And they said same thing. You did see like the big scratch on the sapphire, right?
Oh.
And I'm like, what scratch? Like none of your pictures show it. And then he sent me another picture showing the big scratch. And it happened twice where the picture that showed the scratch really was not included in the listing. So I think last minute they got cold feet about trying to sell me a watch with a defect.
I was lucky twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because as beautiful as this is, you don't want it with a big scratch in the sapphire.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's going to be an expensive repair for Pompeii.
Yeah. Well, is there any way to buff out sapphire?
I think you can, because I saw some videos where there's a company that for light scratches they could buff out the sapphire, but if it's deep enough, then you gotta send it back to Blancpain and
once there's like a deep scratch, I don't think it makes any I don't think it's cost effective to actually get it polished. I think
you're probably if you're taking off 20% of the surface area, then
yeah.
But it's a cool watch.
Yep.
Fit my wrist like a dream. But it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money.
It is.
I think Giza slipped one in there for us as Patek.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And you don't see a lot of blue Pateks.
You don't, do you? No.
Well, apart from Nautiluses, of course.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's the one that the guy has on a NATO geezer.
Yeah. Well, this Patek, the 5170p.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a nice one.
Yeah, this is one of my favorites because I think this just shows what, in my opinion, what like Patek is all about. You know, they're obviously famous for their dials and all that, and how they just sort of used the baguette diamonds for those indices is so subtle but so beautiful, right? I'm not a massive diamond guy, but this is just done so well.
Well, subtlety is an art form on itself, right?
Yeah,
it is.
Like really,
it's a beautiful watch, no doubt.
Yeah,
that is a nice one.
A lot of these Patek purists are more sort of they lean more towards the previous generation, which the 5070, because if you look at the sub registers on the 5170s, they're a little bit they're not quite in the middle. They're kind of sort of sunken a bit towards the south. So a lot of people prefer that kind of symmetry on the 5070s, but I actually prefer the 5170. I think they look more classic and just I think they look a bit sharper, more contemporary.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, this one compared to the previous generation, to me, it's a more like maybe a more design dial, right? Where someone kind of said, okay, we're going to keep proportions a certain way, not like pure symmetry, right? Because symmetry is nice, but sometimes it's almost like a lazy design, right?
Exactly.
This one, that I mean, they're lower by maybe a couple of millimeters, right? Not that much, but it makes it so that it's not like all scrunched up against the logo at the top.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And also the previous gen 5070 is like quite large for Patek standards, right? I think 5070 is like 42 mils. Whereas, obviously this one, 5170, is I think 40 or 39 even. Yeah.
Well, and then the old one at the older movement, right? Which was
the Lemania based, yeah.
Yeah. It's there's something to be said. I know people go overboard about in-house, especially for a chronograph like this, where in-house doesn't necessarily mean fully in-house, right? It's still inspired by an older movement. Yeah. But there's something to be said about making a movement and saying we're going to use a movement that fits in this type of case.
Yeah.
Even if we want to make it smaller, we're going to lower the registers just to make sure that the proportions are better, and even how they hug the side, right? So they're more off to the sides for a reason. Mm-hmm. It's really, really cool the way they've designed the dial.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, to be fair, I generally prefer especially when it comes to these sort of complicated Pateks. I generally prefer the sort of what's his name? Not here. His father, Philippe Stern's Patek. So the references that start with threes, 3940 and 3448 and stuff. I generally prefer that era of Patek, especially when it comes to complicated watches, because the dials are just designed so perfectly. Exactly. If you look at this picture, the left is the modern iteration versus on the right is the more sort of classic from the Philippe Stern era. I just think it's just way more balanced. It's got, I don't know, just everything's just right about the those dials from the previous generation of Pateks, but with the 5170, I just think they've done a spectacular job. In making it look contemporary yet very classic.
When it's 2 millimeters difference in the case, that makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah, and also the way the information is laid out. If you look at the watch on the left, the 5140, you see all the text a lot bigger and a bit more kind of sort of scrunched up in a small real estate. Whereas if you look on the right, on the 3940, things are a bit more balanced, and
it is.
Yeah, it looks a bit more graceful, in my opinion.
The 9 o'clock subdial is too big.
Exactly.
Compared to this.
That's interesting, because if you look at the comparison between the 5140 and the 3940, it almost feels like the 3940 would be the newer one, right? Where somebody came in, looked at the blue one you see there, and tried to fix everything that was wrong with it, right? Except it's the opposite. Yeah.
Speaking of, we've got another blue one there, right in front of us.
I mean, blue is it's a very easy color to do, because I feel like it's it's weird to say, because it's obviously not a classic color, but to me, it's like the third most classic color
It
after
is, yeah. It
after
matches
like
up
black
with so
and
many,
white, right?
Agreed.
yeah. It matches up with so many things though, like suits and shirts and
Yeah. I wear blue and dark gray.
right.
That's it.
Mhm.
Like,
Blue is my favorite color,
Yeah.
hands down.
I put another nice blue one for you in the chat, Zippo, the Breguet 7137.
Excellent choice.
Yeah.
Excellent. I
Yeah,
love my watch.
it's a real.
That's a beauty.
I've been looking at this recently.
Well done, Thomas.
I don't know this one, so this
It's a
is
Breguet Classic.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's 39 millimeters. It's 18 karat gold rotor engine turned by hand, Breguet balance wheel. It's a blue alligator strap, inspired by the Breguet Pocket Watch number 5, which was a classic pocket watch of Breguet. It's a
Yeah.
retrograde second hand and moon phase and date and time. It's $40,000
Yeah.
if you can get a hold of that.
oh, look at that.
I
Isn't that
feel like
amazing?
I feel like those two new Breguets that came out this year are, I almost feel like they're going to be ignored because of everything else that's happening in the world right now. But so far, and I know it's very early in the year, but so far, I'm not necessarily saying they're the best new releases of 2020, but they're certainly in the
They're up there, yeah.
in the
just
top
look at
five.
that
at
engine
least.
turned style, that engine hand engine turned. You know, it's
Yeah.
well, engine turned by an individual. You know, I mean, it's just brilliant.
I think Breguet really, really nailed it with this version this year. It just looks fantastic. Really,
Yeah.
really.
That's beautiful.
And the 7337 too.
Oh,
That's also available in blue.
Yeah.
Is nice too. So,
Are there any other designs like this?
they're copied a lot. Like Urban Jurgensen, right, is very Breguet-ish.
Or George Daniels, maybe.
Oh, yeah, George Daniels. You think just a little bit? Yeah, I mean George Daniels is they're entirely Breguet-ish.
Ish.
Yeah, I mean no, there's a lot. I look on some level. Kerry Voutilainen too, right?
Yeah. And a lot of early Jeans, you know,
Yes.
have the design elements from Breguet as well.
Mhm.
But you kind of got to give them respect for copying the right people.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right?
Well, I think Breguet at the end of the day is, I think, has a lot of, you know, in the same way that you have, or people are fanboys for a certain brand. I think Breguet has a lot of fanboys in the watchmaking field, right? A lot of people look at Breguet and that's who they'd like to emulate, right? And like, you know,
all they should.
yeah. So yeah, and look, it's a cool. They have a cool design, right? Lots of textures, cool hands, cool numerals. It's nice.
And it would have been cool 100 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, still cool as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
I think Blue Shirt's got another suggestion in the chat. The Santos Blue.
Yeah, that's a nice watch. Oh, and we need to look at one of those Moses with the Fume blue dials.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's beautiful. It's Santos.
Yeah.
Anyone here at Santos?
Love a Santos.
Yeah.
I love one of the mid-sized ones. I think the hundreds are a bit bit too big. I think some of them are reaching 42, 44 mil, aren't they?
Oh, but by the way, Blue Shirt is backstage. I think he.
Oh shit!
All right, he dropped off.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, guys. I hit the wrong button and I knocked myself off.
That's what happened to me before, right? You hit I think you hit login instead of private chat.
That's what I did. I hit login instead of private chat. Yeah.
Well, and then I'm looking online and I'm not even paying attention to.
No worries, no worries.
So thanks, guys, for telling me that. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. The biggest size is a little bit too big. I saw it in an AD, a big jewelry chain that sells them. And when I saw the large one, not even on my wrist, just in the display case, I was surprised at how big it was.
Do you guys like sort of non-round dials, like square dials and?
Not personally.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I like things like the tank and the Reverso and the
Santos. I like them. Yeah, I like the Reverso, but there's so many that are nice out there.
I particularly like the way they've put the numerals around the edge of the dial on the Santos. The way they've arranged it in a square format. I think it looks really nice.
Yeah, I was really in love with this, and then I went and I tried it on, and I wasn't as impressed in the flesh as I was with pictures of it.
What, the Santos or
the Santos? Yeah, with the blue dial.
Another blue dial one I was looking at, another Cartier, was the Ballon Bleu, which was interesting.
Yeah.
My ex-girlfriend had a Ballon Bleu, not with the blue dial, but just the regular silver dial. Ballon Bleus are very, very nice. Yeah, especially I really like the crown with the little sapphire on the crown.
Yeah,
little detail.
Yeah, the Ballon Bleu is the one that what's that small independent company that they sued because they had the exact same design.
Ballon with a B to the poem, like balloon.
Yeah, it was
Ball.
Raymond Weil, right? They're the ones who got sued.
I had one of these roadsters on, and geezer, saying I like round watches, and that's about it.
Yeah, I generally prefer round watches as well, but obviously there are a few exceptions like Reversos and maybe the Aqua, but yeah, I'm generally more of a round watch person as well.
They do blue dial of this, which is really nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like I'd like to have one rectangular, but I wouldn't have like many in the collection.
No.
Yeah. I'd have to really love it to spend $1 on it.
I mean, you like Russian meals, right? Flipping.
No, not at all.
I put an interesting one next for you in the private chat, which is the Gorilla Fastback GT Mirage.
Gorilla's a very it's a very interesting company. Yeah.
Yeah, this was founded by Octavio Garcia, who was ex-Audemars Piguet.
Yeah, exactly.
And the brand is heavily influenced by 70s American muscle cars, and the Mirage's blue and orange tones pay homage to the popular Gulf oil colors for their racing team.
I really
carbon case with a rubber strap, blue on the outside and orange on the inside, and it's 250 pieces. And based on the color scheme of the Le Mans winning Ford GT40.
Yeah.
They use those Elites, right? For
it's Miyota. They use Miyota 90S5, so it's 44mm, 48 hour power reserve.
Yeah,
they're only $1,000, just over $1,000. These ones.
Well, for those that's a Miyota, the one with the wandering hours type of complication, right, with the Vaucher movement on top, that one has an ETA movement, I think.
But it's a really interesting complication because the hour hand is on a rotating disc.
Yep.
So the minute hand points to the minutes, and the hour hand is actually rotates round on the pointer rotates round on the disc. It's like a not quite a regulator, but it's just a disc sort of pointer.
Yeah,
so quite a neat sort of function. And I was interested in these and actually started hunting them down on eBay. And there's one on eBay finishing in 2 days, which is a black one, which is only $400 at the moment.
Yeah, there were. I almost considered picking one up. There were like about at some point there were 4 or 5 on eBay that were always at around like the $400 to $500 range, and they were never selling. They kept relisting them, but then they sold out. The one with the Vaucher complication is much more expensive. It's like 5 times the price. Right. And you almost never find it at a good
deal. I'll be right back, guys.
Yep.
No worries.
Found of Timeless Capital brought these to my attention again. I remember I saw a video with who is it again? Captain Zed had one of them.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I saw a video that he did with one of them. But Found of Timeless Capital was chatting about them to me. And I thought I'd bring them up. So interesting watches.
Yeah, there was that hilarious episode on the I think on the Rich Buddy stream where Captain Zed brought it up and they didn't know what they were looking at. Whoever was on, I think it must have been like Rich Buddy, Victor, and Bud or something. They were like, "What? Why are we looking at this? What is this?" But they're cool watches. They're a bit big though, aren't they? Are they 44
millimeters? Yeah.
That's a big one.
But with almost no lugs, right? So they probably
So it's a carbon case.
Yeah, I would get one if it was for like $300-400. I don't know. I kind of regret not buying the ones that were really cheap last year. But don't worry, I'm not going to bid on the one on eBay. Thomas, I'm leaving that one for you.
No. I was looking for a brighter color. The one on eBay is a black one, so I was looking for a more vibrant color, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I think they have a nice yellow one, I think, usually.
Yeah, they've got yellow, white, this blue one. Quite a few color variants. Quite an interesting watch. I mean, the dials vary with the color variant of the strap, so you get slightly different dials. And I put only going more budget. I put Hamilton in the chat for Zippo.
All right.
New dial.
I'm here again.
Go for more budget prices.
And also, Shot in the Dark has a question for us, I think.
Oh, what's that?
For a watch. Don't care for snowflake hands.
The car that I rode home in on the day I was born was a Mustang Fastback.
Oh, nice.
In 1975.
I guess a Shot in the Dark. What kind of watch do you want, though?
Right.
Are you?
I like Snowflake and Shot. I really like them.
Are you looking for like a dress watch or a sport watch, a chrono?
Yeah, I mean,
Tudor's in that 3 to 4K range.
Yeah, I mean,
a host of watches out there.
Speedmaster, right? If you find one cheap.
Speedmaster Day, those are pretty cheap.
You could almost get, if you want a dress watch, you could get maybe you could find a 38 millimeter, the JLC ultra thin with the with just two hands. The one with the hand wound, hand finished movement. You can maybe find that. What else?
Shot in the dark. Why don't you come on and
Yeah, come on and discuss it, Sean.
You can get
You
an
got
Omega
Mull over him.
DeVille for that kind of money.
Omega DeVille, you can get a previous generation Omega Seamaster 300.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, it really all depends what kind of watch you want.
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
can probably get one of the second-hand Railmasters that we looked at earlier on.
Yes.
Yeah, you might. You might be able to, yeah.
I have
Yeah,
the feeling that I'm probably the only one who still owns Hamilton around here.
Well, this Hamilton Frogman was created for the U.S. Naval Frogman teams and featured in the 1951 smash hit movie, The Frogman. Haha. Yeah, it's a 42mm 80-hour power reserve, and it costs £995. This one,
Wow.
so it's
Nice.
a budget. It reminded me of the Ulysses Narden Hammerhead with that locking system on the crown.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like the non-offensive version of the Graham watch.
Right.
Yeah, it's
I
cool.
do kind of like the shape of the bezel on this one.
Yeah.
And I'm fussy about bezels. If they're not just right, I don't like them.
Yeah, it's cool. The bezel makes it not look like a copy of, just another diver.
Yeah.
It's nice. Yeah.
Oh, that's very legible too. Ed. Those hands are. The one problem with my Hamilton is the hands are too thin and blend into the background, and you can't read it ever.
Mm-hmm. That's a nice one.
Yeah.
Okay, so a shot in the dark says sport. I think, like a sport watch at that price, I would look at.
Yeah, Seamaster for sure.
Yes, I would look at anything in Omega.
Yeah, Omega, you can't go wrong.
Yeah, if you want to maximize your bang for buck, I'd look at that used or like gray market. If you want the most money, the most watch for your money.
Yeah.
What's his spending limit?
He said 3,000.
3,000.
3?
Yeah. If you could bump it up a little bit more, you could probably get a black by 58. Those are like 3,800. If you can, you have to wait for a little while. The Tudor GMT is like 4.
But I think he specifically doesn't want Tudor. Right?
Oh, he doesn't want Tudor? Okay.
I mean, another question is, are you willing to buy used or do you want to buy new?
Right, yeah, you're going to get more bang per buck if you buy used.
Yeah.
Although with the Seamasters, if you go to like a Joma shop and if you're able to find the old generation, you could get new, but gray market for that price, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Is one like mine for how much? Reddit is a great place to, not spend too much for first watch.
Yeah, I was surprised at how many crazy deals there are on Reddit.
They don't last long.
I've never looked at them.
Yeah, they get so. You know what, Blue Shirt? They get actually listed on Watch Recon.
Okay.
Yes, Watch Recon actually does index the Reddit. I forget which subreddit it is, but they're almost always the crazy deals that get sold like within, I don't know, a few hours.
12 hours max?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
like
we've had that Omega that was sold 13 hours ago, sold I don't know how long ago. 1550.
Yeah.
And like that to me, that's a hell of a deal.
Yeah,
I
no,
love this watch. Like that's, I
Like
would
I
trade
once
mine
saw,
for this one.
yeah, I think I once saw like a Nomos, like maybe a Nomos Club, which isn't an expensive watch to begin with, but at like a ridiculous, like maybe like 75% off or something. It's just.
Well, there you go, shot in the
That
dark.
was
And listen,
nice.
I hear you. You know, I'm in a situation myself right now. But definitely check Watch Recon if you can. You might get some good deals there. But if you get like a used Seamaster, I think you'd be very happy with that, and you can definitely find that all day long for $3K and under. Especially if you get the previous generation, or even the generation before that.
Yeah, and you know, shot in the dark, you'll find a lot of used watches that were bought by, you know, kind of like degenerate collectors that just buy them and like you know, they buy them and almost never wear them.
Flip them straight away. Flip them after a couple of years.
Even if you go on eBay, man, you find there's thousands of Seamasters listed at any one time.
Yeah, and some of these out there, the guys bought them. They wore them 3 times with the sticker still on.
Right. Exactly.
Why would you do that? Like on a $5,000 watch, but they do it, and like they'll sell their pristine watch for like, you know, 30 cents on the dollar, 50 cents on the dollar.
That's a watch that I've been tempted so many times to buy a Seamaster, and I've always changed my mind at the last minute for I don't know what reason.
Yeah, at some point, didn't Joe Mashop have like the non-wave dial old version for like, was it like 2,500?
Yeah.
Or like,
yeah, it was something ridiculous like that.
You know, like brand new.
Was that quartz?
No.
Jesus.
No, that was just the blue lacquer dial, not the wave.
Yeah.
Another suggestion I have is, I mean, if you're willing to go gray market or even the secondary market, I think those IWC Mark 18s and 17s can be had for around 3,000 as well. Right? So if you're
good recommendation, Geezer.
That's
great
a good one,
watches.
Geezer. I didn't even think about IWC.
Lovely watches.
Cool
I'll
pilot.
take a look on this site first and then see what happens. Go from there. Maybe Chrono 24.
Yeah, and the Mark 18, or even like the previous generations. What's really cool about that watch is that it's not going to be like a watch that you have to compromise a lot on, right? It's very legible. It's a good size, because often to get a good deal, either the size will be off, or the dial will be weird, or the hands, right? And you don't want to buy, if that's what your budget is, right? And that's the high end of your budget.
Yeah.
You don't want to buy a watch that you're not going to like.
Exactly.
Right? It's like people that will say, well, my budget is like 6,000, right? And people right away will say, oh, go get like a Rolex OP39.
Yeah.
And they'll get a watch that they don't like, right?
Yeah,
it's not the watch that they wanted. What they wanted was the Explorer, or the Explorer 2, or a sub.
Don't settle.
Yeah.
No,
Don't
never
settle.
And the thing is, at 3,000 in that range, there's tons of watches that you could buy and you wouldn't be settling, right?
Absolutely.
Like if you like a classic, sporty, like Flieger type that can also be dressy, that IWC is a great suggestion.
That's
and they
a
have
great one. That one you've got on the screen at the moment. This is a great watch.
Love that blue dial, man.
Lovely.
Yeah. And they have a great dial.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, guys. Yeah, no, I had to put the kids to bed.
Trend, yeah.
No worries, man. No worries. So yeah, that's another excellent suggestion. Shot in the dark. That IWC.
Yeah, it's a beautiful watch. Lovely.
And check Reddit for You know, you have to be patient. You have to get lucky a lot of the time, but you might. It's worth following.
Yeah, but and if something is right, with that budget, you have a wide variety of choices that you wouldn't have to settle for.
Yeah.
And you know, you're nearing like the price. It's like you're nearing Oris territory, right? And what would you prefer having? Like,
True.
an Oris or this?
Right. Yeah.
Well, and are you willing to wait another 6 months and save up and throw another $2,000 at something?
But I think that if that's your budget, you can find something.
Yeah.
And right now, honestly, with the way things are going, I don't
Now
think
is
you have
that
to.
time for
Yeah,
sure.
I don't think you have to be super patient right now. The deals are there or they're coming.
Yeah,
That's true.
and also, you know, in this price bracket, you know, the watches that we've suggested are not like, you know, rare watches, or, you know, these are super sort of in demand watches, you know. So there is going to be like a good supply of these watches in the market, and especially, you know, in such times. You know, it's going to be, we all know it's going to be like buyer's market. I mean, we already are in like a buyer's market, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know,
Yeah.
you're going to be able to get a good deal on these watches. So,
And if you don't mind a large watch and you're buying from a reputable dealer, there's deals to be had on Panerai.
oh
Yep.
yes,
Yep.
Good
There's
suggestion.
loads of deals to be had on Panerai.
Yeah. Yeah, even those triple ones and stuff, you know, Pam triple ones, you know, the models, you know,
Yeah.
you can't go wrong, you know, with them if you pay the right money for those.
Right, and you get it from a reputable dealer,
Yeah,
especially a PAM. That's,
exactly. Yeah,
That's very important.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. To avoid any upset, get it from a
Exactly.
reputable source, you know.
Because that's the one problem with PAMs, is that they're, you know.
But that IWC was a smashing watch. That was a cracker.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cracking suggestion.
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking for a chronograph, I think one of the best deals I've seen. I mean, it's been there a long time. I haven't pulled the trigger on it yet, but the Longines Big Eye on Joma Shop for $1,700. So like half your budget. You can get a column wheel chronograph, very classic look. Looks very similar to the new Breitling 765, and you know, a lot like a Breguet Type 20.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's another great suggestion. And that, you know, like Orange Hand is saying, that's half your budget, and for the remainder of your budget, you can probably get something else that's really cool too.
Yeah, branch out a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, Orange Hand, excellent suggestion, man. And the Longines Big Eye is a cool watch.
And also,
yeah,
at that budget, okay, you really don't have to care too much about resale value, especially if you're buying used, because you're probably buying at a price where you can actually resell it at if you ever need to. So, like, you know, if you're buying a good deal, right, you're not overpaying, you can get anything really in that price range and not have to worry too much.
And don't be afraid to ask for
yeah, absolutely. Don't be afraid to ask or walk away from the offer.
Yeah, everybody's trying to pay rent. So
yeah, exactly. And you know what I find is you be polite about it, and that goes a long way. You might not like the way I always say it is, I'm willing to pay such and such. Please let me know if this is acceptable. You don't question them. You just say, this is what I'm willing to pay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically don't do what a certain YouTuber in Australia says he does.
Who shall remain nameless?
Yeah, do what he does in his videos. Remember, like in a couple of videos, you see how he actually talks. when he's in dealers and he's all like very like quiet and okay, is there a discount or
Oh my
not
God.
like the brash insulting character.
Also, if you like, a nice diver for $2,000, you can get a Doxa, which is real nice.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've been toying around getting one of those too.
Pinch. Great
Yep.
shout.
Just don't get a Steinhardt.
Yeah, the Doxa subs, honestly, for
Yeah.
$2,500.
Absolutely.
Great watches. Beautiful. Great combat.
300T is
Great
just
choice of dials. Great
just
choice of dial colors.
just under $2,000 US,
Mm-hmm.
That's delivered to your house, isn't it?
and that's delivered to your house, right from Doxa.
Very nice.
It's a 28.
Junior Johnson, which one have you been looking at? Yeah, shot in the dark. I don't know. What do you like?
Well, he says he grew up seeing people wearing Datejusts and Omegas. So, I mean, a Datejust wouldn't be too... You could get a Datejust for 3,000 second-hand or easily.
And you know what I just thought of? If you Geezer brought up IWC. If you want something with water proof, something that's waterproof and sporty, there's also the very simple aqua timers from IWC. They're in that range.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah. Also, a good watch is the Breitling Super Ocean Heritage. You could maybe just above $3,000, but you're talking. I see them being advertised on Joma Shop and stuff like that, like 3,300, 3,200 and change, and that's an excellent watch.
Yeah.
Is this the one in this?
Well, the 3-hander, like the one with the yellow, you could get something like that. Like there's one like that on Chrono 24 right now for 42 Canadian, which should be what?
$100 American.
Oh,
well,
that was another Canadian saying that, gentlemen. I just want you to all know that was another Canadian saying that.
Yes, and the real answer is different, but it's not that much. It's just as sad. Just as sad.
Yeah.
The real answer is 2,900, but 2,900 for.
Yeah, that's an excellent watch for $2,900.
Yeah, for an IWC diver. So.
Oh, hey guys! While I'm thinking of it, talking about the whole Canada thing, buy your beef now.
Yeah, in Canada, they said the price is gonna jump.
Yeah, they're already closing down processing plants here in the States because people are getting sick. So.
Yeah. 3 top processors are here, and I think 2 of them are already shut down. The 2 biggest ones, and I have it on good authority. Not trying to spread rumors, not trying to encourage panic buying, but somebody who works for the beef pricing board in Calgary, Alberta, says buy now. So.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Well, we can all become vegetarians for a little while.
Yeah, maybe it's our destiny.
Yes, and we still have pork, chicken, lamb. There's still options. See, it's like watches. You don't have to buy Rolex.
Well, they say too much red meat's bad for you, don't they? So
yeah.
Yeah, Junior Johnson, the Longines Big Eye. We were just talking about that a little while ago.
Yeah,
that's a good watch.
Shall we?
Sure. Why not?
Yeah, Longines is one of those companies that I never even considered.
Yeah, they have a weird. Longines has a weird reputation, right? They're kind of like old man's watch, or but they've really turned around. They really have cool products now.
Yeah, hell yeah! Look at this thing. Like this is.
It's a great looking watch. Yeah,
it is.
Very, very classic.
Very, from a distance, that looks like a Breguet Type 20.
Yeah, well, like you said, like that, the Breitling 1953 AVI reissue.
Yep.
Yeah.
Looks just like it.
Yeah.
Half the price.
I kind of have a feeling that those watches at the price they are now at Joma Shop, those are the watches that, like in a couple of years, people will be saying, you used to be able to get those for like a crazy price on Joma Shop, and they were brand new. And like, how much are they? How much of a discount is it at Joma Shop?
Joma Shop usually runs between 20 and 25% off. Usually. I mean, I got my Speedy from a competitor of theirs that's also in Brooklyn, WatchMax, and they were just slightly cheaper than Joma Shop at the time. But this watch, $1,700 for a column wheel chronograph.
You can't go wrong.
You can't go wrong.
No, it's a lovely looking watch.
Yeah,
for the price, you really can't go wrong.
Yeah, it's beauty.
And Longines are really getting their act together, aren't they? They're really doing some really nice stuff at the moment.
Mm.
Well, in high time they should. They've been around long enough.
Yeah, it's 34% off right now. So
is it 34%? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's it's a good deal, and it's brand new. And
so, what does that make it? And then something with 30% off.
It's 1743 US. So.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
So there you go. Shot.
So what is that? $5,700 Canadian? Sorry.
Probably.
A shot in the dark could say he could have 1,300 left over, couldn't he? Yeah, I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, he could easily buy another watch with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What is 55 cents American from Canadian?
Could buy this in a discount diver as well.
Yeah, you could buy an Aura 65 or a Sin. You could have two watches for that $3,000.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Chrono 24 is
one of the Doxa 200s.
Or Doxa 200, right? Yeah, that's under $1,000.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or you could even find it if you like Fliegers. You could find a used or even new Stova.
A Stova or Damasco or Stova. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How much is this one?
It's about $1,000, is it?
Yeah.
I love this one. This is a beautiful watch.
Yeah, the Doxa. I was just looking at that today, the 200.
Yeah.
I was just looking at that today. I so badly want a Beads of Rice bracelet. I want to experience. People have been raving about it.
Who's the Uncle Seiko? You ever heard of that guy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he makes them, and Strapcode makes them, but supposedly Doxas are the best.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and this is just under $1,000.
Hey guys, on that note, I think I'm gonna call it
2 hours and 2.5 hours.
Oh
yeah.
All right.
That's a good show.
I need to go take a walk, drink some water.
Great to chat to you, NS.
Yeah, it was a great time, guys. Great to talk to you, Orange Ann, Blue Shirt,
Yeah, take it easy.
Thomas, everyone, and everybody in the chat. Thanks.
Take care, my
really
friend.
cool
Thank you,
chat.
NS.
Take care, guys. Talk to
Take
you later.
care.
Bye.
Yeah, good night.
Stay safe, mate.
Yeah, sorry I dropped off there. For whatever reason, my phone doesn't want to work with StreamYard, and
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, and I saw you pulled up my suggestion, the big eye. So
Yep.
I missed that.
Do you want to add on to that?
No, I'm good. I'm sure you covered it all well.
Yeah.
Well,
Jimmy,
guys, what do you
Jimmy
say? Do we
Johnson
shut her
said
down, or we
as well.
keep shooting the shit?
You're the captain, man. So it's
Oh,
your call.
I'm good. I'm here. I don't
Yeah.
mind at all.
We can
Once we're
carry
after
on
the
with the guy.
2-hour mark, may as well just go for a marathon, right?
Let's go.
Well, it's also up to Thomas and Giza. They're across the pond, so
Yeah, true
it's pretty
enough.
late for them.
I'm not working this week, so
All the time in the world, eh?
Thomas is the Iron Man, so
I'm not working either.
he's always ready to go. I don't know. Anything else you guys want to look at?
Well, we've lost NS. He was the man that we was going to ask about it, but another Moser that, another Blue Watcher, Geezer was keen to bring up, and I put in the chat was a Moser, a Blue Moser. We've lost NS to talk. We've lost NS to talk us through it. I put in the Moser Pioneer Center Seconds Funky Blue.
The Funky Blue, yeah. Federico has a beautiful blue dial Moser tourbillon for 32,000. That's absolutely stunning.
Is that the pilot style tourbillon? Yeah.
And if something has one of these, doesn't he? He actually owns one. It's the 42.8 millimeter, 120 meters water resistant 3-day power reserve. It's the Caliber HMC 200 in-house automatic funky blue fume dial with gradient effects, blackened leaf shaped hands, superluminative on the hour dots, and blackened hour markers. It's just a gorgeous watch.
Yeah,
it is.
He's got taste, doesn't he?
Stunning.
I really like the pilot style as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, the pilot style blue, the one on the right. Yeah, that one.
Very cool.
Oh yeah, look at that! Wow. Yeah,
Junior,
like I
take
said,
care, man.
pilot numerals.
Yeah, that's really nice. That is really nice.
So that's a heritage one, isn't it? That's the heritage, not the Pioneer. That's the heritage.
There's this guy on Rich Body's channel.
He got the heritage tourbillon, didn't he?
Yeah, he got that tourbillon. Yeah, that's
All Velier, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous watch, isn't it? He showed it on camera, didn't he? He showed the tourbillon. It's amazing.
Absolute beauty.
Yeah.
Chip is asking thoughts on the Pioneer tourbillon in steel.
Wow. What does the pilot tourbillon go for now? I mean, I know that the pilot by itself goes for $13,000. I think. I think the tourbillon is about. I'm not sure now.
Blue Shirt just mentioned that Federico has one of the pilot tourbillons for like 30s.
Yeah, it was
Really,
32.
I was going to say, I
32
think
US.
it's 30, yeah.
That's actually not bad for a tourbillon, right? 32
Right.
US.
Yeah, it's really not.
Not at all.
Yeah.
And it's the same kind of stunning blue. It's just takes your breath away if you're a blue, a blue fan.
Yeah. I really like the very simple Moses without the indices, like the Vanta Black and all these colored ones.
Mm-hmm.
I really like those. They're just a real simple, super sleek.
Yeah, they are cool.
Like this one here is what I would, given the opportunity, would go for, not the blue or the green. Well, this is blue, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is the one you were talking about, right?
Yeah.
Federico has this one.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And Moser, I know we talked about the Aventurine dials earlier. Moser also did like a beautiful Aventurine dial perpetual calendar, I think, with the moon phase. That's an absolute beauty. Yeah, we've got to check that one out.
Yeah. Their watches are really, really amazing.
Yeah. I just Moser moon phase.
I think you can just type perpetual moon phase or something. Yeah, I'm sure it'll pop up. Oh yeah, it's not the Vantablack, but I love this watch. Yeah. The one with the Aventurine dial. So I think if you just search for perpetual calendar, we can start from there, I guess. Because I think it is a perpetual calendar, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Chip Gage is bringing up a good thing. That one thing he's heard about the Tourbillon is that it can't decide whether it wants to be a sport watch or a dress watch.
The way it is with everything nowadays, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different tourbillons coming out, aren't they? They tend to go in sport watches and in dress watches now. It used to be a dress watch thing, the tourbillon, didn't it?
Correct,
but now they're putting them into sports watches. So
I just left a message in the private chat. If you just copy that and search for that, you should be able to find what I'm talking about.
Good man, Geezer.
Yeah, it's just stunning.
That is cool. That is cool. No
is
doubt.
that an actual moon phase then?
It is, yeah.
Right. And this is similar to the Langer, isn't it, that we looked at? It's got a speckled dial, hasn't it?
Yeah, the Aventurine dial, yeah. And believe it or not, this is a perpetual calendar. I think NS did talk about this briefly in one of our previous streams as to how the whole perpetual calendar thing works on this watch. But yeah, I just love the simplicity of this. It's so simple yet so sophisticated, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just love the idea behind this watch.
Those gold hands really make it, don't they?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So if it's a perpetual calendar, is there a
how come it's perpetual? I can't see how it can be a perpetual calendar.
It's on the back, isn't it?
Oh, really?
Could be, yeah. Or it could just be that the mechanism is there, but it's just not displaying. You know how that's kind of the Moser thing, isn't it?
Right. So the moon phase is the main giveaway.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it would just be a perpetual moon phase that you wouldn't have to.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
However, wouldn't a moon phase just be perpetual anyways? Because it's just like a 28-day cycle, right?
Right.
Yeah. Sorry, no clue.
It was a better guess than I could give.
Yeah, Chip is saying the leap year indicators on the back.
There you go.
But I don't. I think that's the only sort of piece of information that we can actually tell. But
that's wild.
Going back, look at the hands. Moser does hands really, really well.
Yeah.
The hands on the watch are just outstanding.
Yeah. I agree. But yeah.
Does anybody here have a perpetual moon phase?
I used to. I used to have a Patek 3940, the perpetual calendar. Yeah.
I'll be right back, guys.
Great looking watch, but it was a pain in the ass to set. So if you don't wear it for a few days, or
that's the only problem, isn't it? If you don't wear them, you've got to set them, and they can be a real pain to set, can't they?
Yeah, I mean, actually, that watch was one of the key reasons as to why sort of my tastes have really changed sort of towards simpler watches. And I sort of kind of implied and sort of mentioned it a few times before. I hate watches where you have to adjust using the stylus pushers externally.
Yeah.
It's just so fiddly, and I really didn't like that. Yeah, I mean, hence the reason why I sort of lean towards simpler watches these days. But no, but yeah, like moon phase is like a wonderful thing to look at. I mean, obviously, it adds nothing to your sort of daily life. I mean, who cares what the moon phase is? But it's one of those like a very unnecessary yet very cool sort of romantic complications to have, right? Sort of like min repeaters and min repeaters a bit more functional, but moon phase is one of those functions that you really don't need. Well, yeah, but cool.
It's so cool just to have it.
Yeah. Oh, I love the Vanta Blacks. Yeah, those the all black ones.
Yeah, fascinating, aren't they?
Yeah, they're just conceptually they're just like really cool. You know, they don't even have like a single text or like a indices or anything. It's just boom.
There's one that NS last weekend that had no name on it, right?
Yeah.
Like that's pretty cool in my opinion.
Yeah. Yet it is so recognizable, right? So it doesn't, you know, these watches don't have the logos or anything on the dial, but you know it's a Moser. Oh yeah, I think Thomas has got another excellent suggestion.
Yeah, another one was, if to go back into the sports watch section, was the Vacheron Overseas blue dial.
Ooh, good choice, Thomas.
Yeah.
Good choice.
Yeah, the current gen Vacheron overseas are beautiful.
I've tried one on the blue dial, the current
Did you?
third generation, and it's beautiful. The bracelet really is one of the most comfortable bracelets I've tried. Just really is comfortable.
I love the look of that watch. I just, for the life of me, I don't know why it doesn't have stop seconds. It just
really
boggles my mind that it doesn't have it.
It doesn't have hacking seconds,
Nope.
really.
Nope.
That's kind of a deal breaker, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a deal breaker for me. It's one thing that my Speedy doesn't have it, but
yeah, for something that's 40 years old, that's fine.
Yeah,
but
even Patek is now making watches with stop seconds, so.
I don't think the three-handed Nautilus has stop seconds. The caliber.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Yeah, but the new 5726 and those those hacking seconds.
But it's a beautiful blue. It's a beautiful watch.
It is.
The bracelet is cool, and plus, how can you go wrong? You get the steel bracelet, you get a leather strap, and you get a rubber strap.
Yeah,
and they interchange so easily as well. Right. I mean, the mechanism is so simple. It's just a flip up mechanism that interchanges these straps. It's beautiful.
I mean, this is not like confirmed information, but what I've heard is that the some of the dials that Vacheron uses on their watches. I was told that some of the dials are actually made by the dial factory that's owned by FP Journe.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I heard that too. I heard the blue is so close on the overseas to the chronometric blue.
Yeah. Because I think back in the days, I'm not sure if it's still the case, but the dial factory that Journe owns now, I think it was partially owned by Vacheron. Obviously, Journe, I think, just bought out the whole company like years ago. But I think he was still that the sort of dial maker, that subsidiary of Jean, was still making dials for other companies, including Vacheron. That's what I've heard. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a 41 millimeter watch with 150 meter wall resistance. It's 11 millimeters thick, 60 hour power reserve. It's got a soft line case ring for anti-magnetic protection. It's got, as we said, 3 types of interchangeable bracelets.
Yeah.
It's got the Vacheron caliber 5100 in, and it's in 2016 retailed for $21,000, which is quite a lot. I think it goes for about £17,000. This one.
Yeah, and there's no wait list for these.
Right, you can walk right in and get one.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Neo, how are you, my friend?
Oh, Neo.
Oh, how you doing, buddy?
I mean, I really like. I've tried the Gen 3 overseas as well. I love the idea of them giving you the 3 straps when you buy the watch. But just like the 3-hander Royal Oaks, they were a bit big. That was my only sort of concern with the overseas, but. I think if you have the wrist to be able to pull these off, I think the investment overseas is next.
It's excellent bang per buck, that's for sure. This watch,
relatively speaking, for sure, compared to Nautilus and Aquanauts and Royal Oaks, it's a huge value prop. Yeah.
What's the case diameter on the overseas? Is it 40 or 42?
I think
41.
Yeah.
41 mil, yeah.
Yeah, just like Royal Oaks, they wear a lot bigger.
And the chrono's a little bit bigger as well, too, right?
I think so, yeah. And Chip is asking thoughts on the dual time version, of the overseas. I love that one. Yeah.
Love it, yeah. I mean, the with the AM/PM indicator, it's beautiful.
I've actually tried the Corey Richards.
Really?
Yeah, dual time at the.
Did you really?
Yeah, at the old Philips. I love that watch. I so wish they make that as a sort of at least something closer to that as like a production model.
They probably will.
Yeah,
because people have fallen in love with it.
Yeah, the color combination of gray and orange, and the titanium obviously makes the watch really light and all.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely loved that watch. But yeah, even the standard production model. I think the one we have up right now is the previous generation, right?
I think that picture on the top right, sorry, Zippo. Yeah, I think that's
that's the current.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
The one below.
One below. The
top
one below.
Okay. There we go. Yeah.
One of these.
Yes. Yeah, I love this watch. I love how the dual time is executed. Very well done, in my opinion.
So, Geezer, what's the difference between the Corey Richards and the standard production?
So the color scheme is different, first and foremost. So
You had an orange hand.
Yeah, and the sort of the gray background with orange hands, and the case is in titanium on the Corey Richards edition, and the rotor has like a custom sort of image of the Everest on it. Yeah,
Got it.
It's fantastic. It's beautiful.
That's
very cool. Very cool.
That's your watch there, orange hand.
Yeah, it's got you written all over it.
I think sadly, I think it's a little too close to the Explorer 2 I've got.
No, that's the one for you. The Explorer, the real Explorer's watch.
Yeah.
Everest embossed into the rotor.
Yeah, I'm not sure. The one thing I'm not sure of is the date in the sub in that sub dial there.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that kind of throws me off on this one.
That's how protected it with the Aquanaut travel time as well. Sort of similar sort of execution with the date at 6. How all the 31 dates have been sort of laid out. But I agree with you. It does make the watch look a bit busy. But yeah.
Yeah, I really like the if I had to pick an overseas, I'd go Blue Dial Chrono.
Yeah,
I think that's my favorite one.
Yeah, gorgeous.
That is
nice. And I like the old one with the big date at 12 as well. Is pretty lovely as well.
I was going to say, do you want to go Rolex-less for this stream? But I've got a couple of Rolex suggestions.
Sure.
Blue Dial Sky Dweller.
First one in the chat is the Platona. The Platinum Daytona.
Platinum Daytona.
So funny story about the Platinum Daytona. I was at my kid's dentist, and I noticed that he was wearing a Daytona. I thought it was a Panda, just because I got a quick look as he was kind of treating my son, and I said to him afterwards, like, "Oh, nice Daytona," and he kind of flashed it again, and I went, "Oh, it's the Platona."
Whoa.
Nice. Like this year, and it turns out it's his only watch.
It's his only watch?
It's his only watch. He's got one watch, and it's this.
Well, if you're going to get one watch, this is a good one watch to have.
It just shows you how much dentists are making in Canada, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
I guess.
Because this one in 2013 retailed for $75,000.
Yeah.
It's the 50th anniversary Daytona.
That is
Ice blue dial.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest Daytona fan, but that's a cool watch.
It is.
Cool.
Yeah, me neither. I'm not the biggest Daytona fan, but I do like that baby blue dial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's no other watch that looks like that.
No, never.
I'm not sure how I feel about the brown ceramic and the brown subdials. Like if it was in a
how did it look in person?
It was gorgeous. I mean, it's a beautiful watch. Absolutely stunning. I would have loved to try it on. I'm sure it weighed a ton.
For sure. Man,
yeah, gorgeous piece.
That's a lot of braces and a lot of teeth getting pulled.
No kidding. Yeah, no. He I asked him about it, and at first I was a little embarrassed because I thought he had a steel, Panda, and I kind of went, oh, how'd you get your hands on that? And and then he kind of flashed it again, and I realized what it was, and he said that his son is really into watches and kind of recommended this one to him, and he got a good deal on it. Apparently got a discount. He was telling me how he kind of haggled with the AD and got a really good deal, but I was just like, my jaw hit the floor. It was quite funny. And then afterwards I kind of said to my son likes watches as well, obviously now, and he we were both kind of chatting afterwards, and of course I said, well, and then that's why you become a dentist, son.
Anybody here like the Smurf?
Yeah, I got the Smurf written down, but the next one was the Blue Sky Dweller.
Love that Blue Sky Dweller. Oh my god!
I'm personally not a big fan of the Smurf.
No,
I don't really like the shade of the blue. And yeah, I mean it's fine. Yeah, it's not like I hate the watch or anything, but it's just the watch. I know it's a watch that I'll never ever own.
Yeah, it's the Smurf's a weird one because it's under the radar, right? That's the one thing I like about the Smurf is that it's for people who aren't in the know, it's so low key, it's so under the radar. It just looks like a steel sub, and then
it's way more under the radar than, let's say, the white gold Pepsi with the blue dial.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I
This
do
watch
like
is
the
amazing.
But the shade of
the tone of blue. I do like, but apart from that, no thanks.
I mean,
What
this is
on
the
this
most
one?
complicated watch Rolex makes.
yeah, I like the blue. Like the blue on the bluesy dial is nicer.
Yeah,
Mm.
Yeah,
I agree.
yeah, like the Blue Z as well. But I love this watch.
It's quite a weather.
Are all the blues different between the this one, the bluesy, and the Smurf? Obviously is, but
Yeah,
different finish as well on the dial. So the one on the Skydweller has been more sort of brushed.
Yeah, it's a brushed effect, isn't it?
yeah.
You're right.
Blue, and then the shade of blue is different as well, not just the finish. Yeah, this one definitely is the nicest blue that Rolex does.
Well, I'll disagree with you there because the next one I put in the chat was the one that I own.
Oh, you did the Z Blue Milgauss.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
How could we not have
Orange
that?
Orange Hand will be more of a fan of this one.
How could we not?
It's
have
true. It's
I
true.
just love this
that
because
one.
it's an understated annual calendar, and a GMT watch.
Yeah, I
And
think the
it's just-
Skydweller does it all, doesn't it?
It does
It's
it all
just-
right.
But do you guys like Skydweller though? I know Blue Shirt, you said you really like the Skydweller, but how about you, Thomas, and Orange?
Yeah, I'm fascinated by its complication. I think it's wonderful the way the indicators rotate around the dial, and you've got a little sub dial at the bottom to indicate the
Absolutely. I love the idea and the execution behind it. How Rolex used the fluted bezel as like
the controller to set it all.
so clever, so Rolex. But yeah,
It's a big watch though, isn't it? It's 42 mil.
42, yeah.
it is. Yeah, and I don't know in terms of the looks. I'm not honestly. I'm not the biggest fan of the design.
It's got a lot of presence. It
Yeah,
gives an oversized date, doesn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, I do absolutely appreciate the idea, the execution, and the mechanics behind.
But it's very Rolex.
Yeah,
yes,
absolutely.
It's the epitome of Rolex in the design, and they couldn't have done it better, really. I mean, it says Rolex all over, and the complication is just a great one. I mean,
and it's one of the better looking watches in two-tone as well. Like the white dial two-tone Skydweller that Mark Goldberg has, that's stunning as well.
Yeah,
like the one we had on the title photograph for the stream in the case on the right hand side. There was a two-tone white dial one, white dial Skydweller.
Yeah,
but yes, Mr. Burnett, tell us about your watch.
Yeah, this is my favorite of the lot that I've got. The Z Blue Milgauss. It's just a shimmering dial that changes color tone in different lights. It can go from a dark blue to a really light shade of blue to an almost green with the help of the green crystal. It's beautiful. I love it. Yeah.
And the orange lightning bolt hand.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I love the green crystal though. That addition really helps take it to a different level. I feel.
Yeah.
Really, really quirky.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
In a great way.
Do you think Rolex will ever put a green crystal on another watch?
No, I don't.
Is it?
I don't know because that started off with the anniversary edition that you see on the top left-hand picture. I think is it?
Yeah, because there's no real properties that make it, anti-magnetic or like relate to the Milgauss
No,
in any
not
way.
at
It's
all.
just they
Not at
introduced
all.
it with the Milgauss, and it's
Totally
just interesting that
decorative.
they.
Yeah, totally decorative.
I personally don't think they will put green glass on any other watches. I think it will be like a very Milgauss thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And at least
I
I
agree.
hope it stays that way.
Yeah, I agree. I don't see them putting it on another watch, but you never know. But that's a special one, and it's a beautiful
It is.
blue.
The last one, Zippo, was the Smurf that you wanted. That we've had a bit of debate about briefly.
See, I kind of appreciate that it's low key.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
There's also
I'm just generally not a big fan of subs in colors other than black. I'm not even a big fan of Hulk. I actually really don't like Hulk.
Yeah, bit overkill. I mean, that's what I feel. To be honest, I think the Hulk is overkill. I think when they
It is,
when they color the dials and the bezels, it's a bit too much. That's what I like
right.
about Kermit. It's just
Exactly.
just right. It's just
enough
the bezel's
to.
colored, and it's just enough. But when you start coloring the dials as well as the bezel, it's a bit too much.
I think
I just
hates green.
I just think that green dial on Hulk is just downright ugly.
Yeah, I'm not a huge Hulk
personal
fan.
opinion, but
It's like the Black Bays, I mean, they did the Black Bay Burgundy and the Black Bay Blue, and they look fine. They look really nice because they've got black dials and coloured bezels. But if you just make the dial of a Black Bay Burgundy or the dial of a Black Bay Blue, I mean, I don't think it'd go really, to be honest with you.
I think in the case of the Smurf, I think it's the shade of blue that they chose. I think had they gone with a deeper, darker, shade of blue, like a navy blue, I think it would have been maybe a better choice, or at least more people would have been open to it, because it is a very bright, bright blue.
It goes well with very faded blue jeans, and that's about it.
Yeah, Neo, I'm with you. I would. I mean, this watch is nice, but I'd rather have a bluesy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then the bluesy's got a black dial, hasn't it?
No, I think it's got a blue dial, doesn't it?
No,
like
blue
sunburst.
It's got a blue dial.
Okay, right.
How long ago did the GMT? I don't know, how am I trying to put this? The bluesy GMT with the black dial, well, which isn't a bluesy. Is that?
Oh, you mean the
long
white
gone?
with Pepsi?
The Batman, you mean?
Batman? Is that the one?
The one with the black and blue?
No,
The red and blue?
The white gold Pepsi with the blue dial.
Yeah,
the white gold Pepsi has a blue dial.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first Pepsi. Well, the first ceramic Pepsi.
Yeah. I like that watch. The white gold Pepsi.
Is that the meteorite one?
No, with a just like a sort of dark blue dial.
Yeah.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
I saw one at one of the ADs that had it in the window for a while.
So yeah, that's the meteorite version. The one below is the blue, just blue
But
version.
the stud has the meteorite Pepsi.
Yeah, he's got a meteorite, hasn't he?
Yeah,
That's it.
Dark blue. I like this shade of blue.
Yeah, it's a little more muted than the Smurf for sure.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Geezer.
Yeah, I don't like the any Pepsi dials at all.
Okay.
Yeah,
Personally.
to be fair, I'm kind of with you on this one as well. I'm just not a big fan of the modern GMTs. I really like the classic GMTs, but it's just the writings on the bezel. They just look too big to me.
Yeah.
The numbers and the colors just don't feel right to me. I much prefer the classic GMTs over the modern ones.
Yeah.
Like the black I'm okay with. Green hand is just enough color. Well, even that I don't like, to be honest. Like, it doesn't stand out like a sore thumb, but
yeah,
it's not for me.
And I've never seen a white dial ceramic Pepsi, but a white gold ceramic Pepsi, but I've seen a regular ceramic Pepsi, and what I'm wondering is whether or not that blue on the dial actually matches the blue on the bezel, because the blue on the bezel on a regular ceramic Pepsi is a little purpley.
Yeah, well,
So-
they've kind of there's
3 generations. Isn't
yeah
it?
we Rich Buddy did a whole show. There's like
Yeah, I saw
3
that.
different models now that they've come out with the new Pepsi, and it started out purple, it got a little darker, and then it got even a little darker still now.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But I mean, I guess the original white gold Pepsi
Right, yeah.
would have been a Mark 1, would have been before even the Mark 1 steel, right?
And it was close, at least from what I could tell. I was looking at through a window, but it was close to the blue of the bezel.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
White gold Pepsi.
All right, guys, should we call it?
Cool. 3
Yeah,
hours.
good one. 3 hours, 11 minutes. Wow.
Are we? Jesus.
All right. Great talking to you guys.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Yeah, good chat.
Great time.
Very much appreciate everybody coming out.
No problem. Anytime you want to come on, Zippo, you just let us know.
Yeah.
Give us the word and we'll be here.
Right on.
All right. Have a good night, everyone.
Have a good
night.
night,
Take care, everybody.
Take care.
Bearing with us all, everyone in the chat. Thanks for bearing with us, and it's great to see you all.
Thanks, guys.
Stay safe.
Take care.
Good night.